Oh,
Yeah.
he ain't did nothing in the welterweight today.
You
When he
have
get
did
a belt,
nothing.
when he
You
get a
have
belt,
did nothing.
you want to
You
go
have
over
did
there. Keith Thurman want to go over there, and now y'all want to say, "Oh, I ain't fought nobody," but I got a belt now, so
Okay.
why?
Okay. Sean Porter got a belt too.
So now
Sean
this,
Porter got a belt too. Sean Porter. So why am I go to easy road and you not Sean Porter out? So why am I go to easy road and you not Sean Porter out?
So why am I go to easy road and you not Sean Porter out? So why am I go to easy road and you not Sean Porter out?
Who mans is this? Get him the fuck out of here.
And I'm getting mighty tired of your trifling ways and of listening to that jackass Bray.
I figure I'm wondering if my boy gonna get the fight. Every day I'm getting asked about the fight. They waving, they stopping me. What's going on? Everybody think I know what's going on, and I'm gonna tell you what's going on. I'm just gonna give you my opinion of what's going on. It's a conspiracy of Bud Crawford. It's a conspiracy. They strategically trying to break my boy down. They strategically trying to put him in a position to where, he's not at his best, to where he's in a rock and a hard place. Can I say that?
So what I do, YouTube? It's your boy King David in this thing, and I'm back at y'all again with another video. So before I get going on the video, man, y'all know what to do. Go ahead, hit the like button, and if you're new here, be sure to subscribe one time for your boy, so we can continue to grow like we need to grow on this channel. You know what I mean? Alright, so with all that out the window, man, is Terence Bud Crawford being lowballed by PBC and Al Heyman? You know what I mean? So y'all seen the video, man. Bernie, according to Bernie the Boxer, it's a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy going on with Bud Crawford. It's a conspiracy. These dudes are going out of their way to strong arm Bud Crawford in these negotiation tables. That's pretty much what Bernie the Boxer is saying here. You know what I mean? And I gotta say, I'm just not surprised, man. I'm not surprised. This is actually something that I suspected all along. I knew that once Bud got to the table, Team Errol Spence, PBC, Al Heyman, these dudes would try to put together an offer that they would hope and wish and pray that Bud Crawford doesn't take. These dudes really don't want to fight. They never wanted to fight. Never. They're upset that they're even in this position. You know what I mean? I bet every morning when Errol Spence and Team Errol Spence wake up, they like, fuck, how the fuck we let this happen? God damn. I bet every morning they cursing. They mad as hell at the world. Every day they wake up, I bet they mad as hell at the world. Thinking to themselves, how in the hell did we let Terence Crawford get this close to making a fight? How the hell? I bet Errol Spence is like, I thought after I told him that Sean Porter got a belt, that he would get sick and tired of chasing me. You know what I mean? I bet Errol Spence was like, I thought after I told him 60-40-70, 30-80-20, he would get tired of chasing me. You know what I mean? I bet Errol Spence is like, I thought after I told him I wanted to take the easy route, that he would get tired of chasing me. All them BS bullshit ass excuses aside, Bud Crawford is still hot on my goddamn tail. How? Why? This is some bullshit. I bet the nigga smashing glasses and breaking shit all in his house regularly. Bet the nigga gotta see a therapist every day. I bet the nigga's really mentally, emotionally hurt right now. The fact that Bud Crawford is still hot on his trail. You know what I mean? Even so, Errol Spence got a trump card. And his trump card is trying to see the best way he could lowball Bud Crawford in a way where it doesn't look like he completely and utterly ducked out of the motherfucking fight. But let's hear what else Bernie the Boxer got to say.
But They say, what is the saying? They say, if it's a fight between me and the bear, you better go help the bear. You understand? And in that case, PBC and the rest of them bums, to me, they the bear. You know, I mean, like I say, I can't tell you what's going on. The only reason why the fight ain't going on is because somebody ain't doing something right on they. Something ain't right. You know, they ain't coming correct. You know,
Ain't coming correct. How you ain't coming correct? How you not coming correct for the biggest fight in boxing? How you ain't coming correct when you offer Canelo Alvarez $50 million? Bud can't get $10 million? If Canelo got $50 million? How you ain't coming correct when, according to Errol Spence and a lot of Errol Spence fanboys, this is the fight that he wanted? Remember? He wanted to collect all his belts on his side of the street, and then he was going to come across the street to go see Terence Bud Crawford, right? That's what a lot of you niggas say. That's what a lot of you niggas say over and over and over again, like a broken goddamn record. He wanted to collect all his belts on his side of the street, and then he wanted to see Terence Bud Crawford for the big fight for Undisputed, so it could be the biggest fight that it could possibly be. So if that's the truth, how the hell is Errol Spence not coming correct? Why is Errol Spence not putting his best foot forward in the negotiation? Well, let's keep it moving.
You know, it's almost like this thing we call it's called price to sell. You know, sometimes, you know, you ask somebody they want to sell something, they put an astronomical number on it because they ain't trying to sell it. You know what I'm saying? So,
and again, this is just something that real boxing fans suspected would be the case to begin with. You put a high ass price tag on there because you not trying to sell it. You never was trying to sell it. How much for them shoes? $5 billion. You not trying to sell it, fam. It's okay. You can just say that. You can just say that. You know what I mean? Errol Spence never wanted to fight Terence Bud Crawford. Never, ever, never. Never wanted to fight Terence Bud Crawford. We know this. We know this. I don't know why y'all don't. There's no reason why a nigga gotta tell another dude to get a belt first when he's an undisputed champion. There's no reason why a nigga gotta tell somebody 60, 40, 70, 30 or whatever I give you when you give dudes like Mikey Garcia and you give dudes like your Dennis Ugas 50-50. There's no reason why a nigga gotta say, I gotta take the easy route before I fight you. Easy route. There's no guarantees you're gonna get in the ring once you complete this easy route. But that's what Earl was banking on at the end of the day, right? That's what he was banking on. He was banking on never ever getting in the ring with Terence Bud Crawford. Like I said earlier, the dude is piping mad that Bud is even still around. I bet the dude is cussing every morning. He's like, fuck, this nigga still here, still trying to make the fight. I done did everything in my power to not get the fight done, and this nigga still here. But let's keep it moving now.
A lot of narratives going on. Bud want 25 million, or it's they want to hold on to him for a certain amount of time. It's so many different rumors and speculation going on. But like I said, you know, if anything I can say that I know is fact about Bud, if the fight ain't happened, they ain't signed it yet, it's because they ain't coming correct. You understand? You can quote me on that. You know, you can.
So you heard what Bernie the Boxer said. If the fight ain't getting done, that means these niggas ain't coming correct. That means these niggas are throwing down lowball offers. That means these niggas ain't serious with these negotiations. They not doing these negotiations good. You know what I mean? That's what that means. I'm gonna give y'all another example. Devin Haney and George Kambosos. George Kambosos negotiated Devin Haney all the way down to his breaking point. Meanwhile, was signed to fight Vasyl Lomachenko instead of Devin Haney, right? Devin Haney had to take an 80-20, 90-10 split. Devin Haney had to sign a rematch clause, right? Both times in Australia. Devin Haney had to sign the top rank. Devin Haney had to make all these concessions in order to get the fight done with George Kambosos. But do you think that George Kambosos actually wanted that fight? Do you think George Kambosos really wanted that fight with Devin Haney? Especially now, looking back in retrospect and seeing what the result of that fight was. A complete and utter domination of George Kambosos. You think these fighters don't know what the fuck's going on out here? Terence Bud Crawford has endured all the little hurdles, all the little bullshit excuses Errol Spence has put forth over the last 3 and 4 years. And now we're down to Errol Spence's final trump card, these negotiations. These negotiations where he can try to either wiggle out of the fight and still save face, or try to get the most amount of money that he could possibly get on his way out after he get beat the fuck up by Terence Bud Crawford. But in any case, man, let me know what y'all think, man. Do y'all think Terence Bud Crawford is getting lowballed, you know what I mean? Because even Bernie the Boxer stated that this was his opinion in regards to the negotiation, but it just makes so much sense to me, fam. Ever since Errol told Bud to get a belt first, ever since Errol told Bud he was on the wrong side of the street, ever since Errol told Bud he needed to take the easy route first, and Sean Porter got a belt, ever since Errol told Bud 60, 40, 70, 30, or whatever I give you, I have never believed Errol Spence wanted to fight. Not now, not ever. But do you believe that Errol Spence is lowballing Terence Bud Crawford in these negotiations, man? Let me know what y'all think, man. Hit it up in the comment section below. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. And everybody, and I do mean everybody, be sure to hit that goddamn like button. But until next time, I'ma holla at y'all. Peace.
He called me a horrible fighter, but he just got beat by like a basic foundation.
Yeah, what it do? What it do? Yeah, man, it's your boy King David here in the building, man. What it do, man? Salute to all the real boxing fans out there, man. I say salute to all the real boxing fans out there, man. What it do, man? We out here talking some boxing today, man. You know what I mean? Let me make sure my sound is good, because, you know, I have a history of sound issues. So let me make sure that's good. Hold up. Before I continue. Sure that's good. Okay. Look like my sound doing good over here. So what I do, man, again, man, salute to all y'all, man. Salute to the real boxing fans out there, man. We're going to be talking some real good boxing talk today, man. You know what I'm saying? If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. And everybody, and I do mean everybody, be sure to hit that goddamn like button one time for your boy, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So we can continue to grow the way we need to grow on this channel, you know. Y'all know what it is already, you know what I mean? Before I get into the meat and potatoes, let's read some of these comments out here, man, because y'all out here on the comments. You know what? Before that, let's look at the poll, because I got a poll right now going. And the question to the poll is actually, what do you think is the problem when it comes to getting the Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence fight done, right? That was the question that I posed. At this particular moment in time, I have 71% of y'all that say Bud is being lowballed by the PBC. You know what I'm saying? I got 7% of y'all that's saying Bud is asking for too much money. And I got 14% of y'all that's saying Earl's asking for too much money. Very interesting. And then I got 7% of y'all, and this is surprising, right? When I put this in there, I don't think anybody would actually vote for this shit. But I got 7% of y'all that say Earl is being lowballed, right? Which is very interesting. But we can see the overwhelming majority is that Bud is being lowballed by the PBC and Al Heyman. So very interesting. That's what the current poll is. You know what I mean? Now that we done got that out the way, man, let's salute to all my peoples out here already in the goddamn chat. Salute to y'all. My guy Cash here bright and early in the motherfucking day. Salute to you, Cash. My guy Davy John here in the motherfucking building. Salute to you, Davy John. Salute to you, fam. One of my day one subscribers right there. That's my guy right there. You know what I mean? My guy I Run SNY in the building, man. Salute to you, fam. He say Earl wants a rematch but doesn't want to give Crawford a rematch. That's the holdup. Well, that's very interesting. That a rematch clause would be the reason why this fight is being held up. You know what I mean? That's very interesting. I mean, I tell me what y'all think about that. I think that's very interesting. My guy WJ Luckett here in the building. Salute to you, WJ. He said PBC just don't want to make the fight. I think there's a lot of people in here that would agree with you, WJ, 100%. Terry Smoot Jr. here in the building. Number one troll in the United States. Salute to you, Terry Smoot. Also one of my day one subscribers. You know what I mean? He say Bud's still out here making the fight difficult. Okay, he making the fight difficult. Nothing to do with PBC. It's Bud. Okay, I got you. Terry also says Bud made Bob Arum lose millions on the fight. So many millions Bob could have made a mansion in Beverly Hills. Yeah, you just gonna play the interview. You just gonna read the interview, huh, Terry? Okay. Terry Smoot also says Bud ain't fight top level competition, wants the most money. He ain't fight top level competition, but he was undisputed at 140 pounds, right? But he ain't fighting top level competition. He ain't fighting top level competition, but he a 3-time world champion, 3 weight division. But he ain't fighting world quality competition, right? That's what you got, Terry. That's what you got right there. Terry Smoot also says Devin took a pay cut for undisputed. Why won't Bud do the same? Guess Bud doesn't really want to make the fight. First of all, this is Bud's second undisputed, Terry. This is his second undisputed. So already you got to take him out of the same category that you would put a Devin Haney, because at the time Devin Haney was going for undisputed, right? At the time he was going for undisputed, he had never been undisputed. As opposed to Bud Crawford, he's already been undisputed. So if anything, Terry, using your same logic, if you're saying a guy should make sacrifices in order to go for undisputed, shouldn't that mean that Earl should take a pay cut in order to go for undisputed if he really want to be undisputed? Isn't that what that means? Because I hear that little bullshit narrative all the time, right? Oh, Devin went for undisputed. Devin did this to go for undisputed. Devin did that to go for undisputed. Yeah, that was his first undisputed run, right? Much like this is Earl's first undisputed run. So shouldn't Earl make the necessary sacrifices, meaning taking a pay cut, in order to make sure the fight gets done, Terry? I mean, help me out. Am I wrong? I mean, based on your logic. You know what I'm saying? But let's keep it going on. Terry also says, it's sad that Bud is letting this historic fight go to waste because of his greed. He knows he ain't going to beat Earl. And so he's trying to go out like Caleb Plant and get the most money. If anybody trying to go up like Caleb Plant, we know it's Errol Spence Jr. You know what I mean? All day, every day. Okay, Terry out here active on these comment streaks. Terry, you might have to hop on here today because you're doing a lot of keyboard warrior work over there. You know what I mean? Terry says, why Bud scared to cross the street? Just signed with the PBC since no one else wants him. ESPN, DAZN, Matchroom don't want Bud. Where else he gonna go? Golden Girl Triller. First of all, Bud already signed. He already crossed the street. Terry, he already crossed. Bud Crawford is signed to Bally Sports. You know what I'm saying? Which is a Showtime affiliate. So he already crossed the street in order to make sure the fight is happening. You know what I mean? So, you know, I don't know where you're going with that. My guy, Urel Thomas in the building. Salute to you, Urel. He says, look here. PBC is trying to give Crawford a royal fucking on all levels. Trust that. Oh, yeah, we're going to cook on all that. We're going to cook on all that. because that's what I believe. He getting the world fucking. We're gonna break it all the way the fuck down, but let me get through these comment sections and we're gonna get all the way cooking. You know what I mean? My guy, Mind of a Man podcast in the building. Y'all be sure to subscribe to Mind of a Man podcast. Be sure to do that. You know what I'm saying? That's my boy over there. Okay. He said, this show should be called We Love Bud Crawford Show. Okay, fam. I mean, first of all, if what I'm saying ain't facts, I mean, you know, talk to me about the facts of what I'm saying. I mean, we know Earl said he needed to get a belt first. We know he said 64 to 70 30. We know he made up all these excuses for the fight not to get done. You know what I mean? So anytime I say something wrong, I mean, I challenge anybody, you and anybody, to challenge me on what it is I'm saying, because I could pull receipts on all this shit that I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Show me your receipts. You know what I mean? Show me your receipts if what I'm saying is wrong. My guy Cash in the building say, what's good? Salute to you, Cash. You know what I mean? My guy Postman in the building. Salute to you, Postman. Not sure if you've been here before, but salute to you, man. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe one time for you, boy. You know what I'm saying? He says, Bud beat more Olympians, more undefeated fighters than Spence. And these are facts. He's been in more world championship fights. Facts. He's got 2 lineal titles, right? So not just the undisputed run at 140 pounds. He has a lineal title at 135 pounds, which is far superior to that of Errol. He's fought more undefeated fighters, just like my guy Postman is saying. But in addition to that, he's beaten more Olympic gold medalists, Olympians in general. Also, contrary to Errol Spence, who has beaten no Olympians for the most part. You know what I mean? I can't think of an Olympian Errol Spence has fought. I can't think of one off the top of my head. I may be wrong about that, but I can't think of one. My guy Cash says, Bud shouldn't take a pay cut this late in his career. He earned the right to get paid whatever he wants. Devin's situation is completely different. And we talked about it a little bit earlier, Cash. Terry Smooth Jr. on that bullshit. I already said, first of all, Devin was going for his first undisputed run, right? So he made the necessary sacrifices in order to ensure that he could become undisputed, right? That's what Devin did. He took a pay cut. He fought in Australia. He did all these different things, right? I mean, George Kambosos ain't a big name. He ain't a big draw, none of that type of stuff, but he made the necessary sacrifices, right? Devin being the big draw over Kambosos, right? So if Devin made those sacrifices and he was going for his first undisputed run in order to make history, shouldn't that mean that Earl should be trying to do the same thing? I mean, if we're using the same logic when people make that comparison, because this is Earl's first undisputed run, right? So if Earl really cared about undisputed, which according to a lot of his fans and according to Errol Spence, he cares about undisputed. If Earl really cared about undisputed, shouldn't he take the pay cut? And shouldn't he be the B-side in order to make sure the fight happens based on that logic? I mean, I'm really trying to understand this because y'all like to put Terence Crawford in the shoes of Devin Haney, right? But those shoes don't fit. Those shoes don't fit at all. The shoes that fit much better is Errol Spence in the shoes of a Devin Haney, right? Errol Spence is the guy who's going after his first undisputed title, like Devin Haney. Therefore, he should also be the guy to make the necessary sacrifices in order to get the fight done if he really wants undisputed, right? According to you niggas. I mean, help me understand. You know what I mean? My guy Postman say salute to you, Postman. My guy Mind of a Man podcast says, I agree he should take a pay cut. Should it be split down the middle? He belts don't matter. His belts don't matter. Okay, I mean, how many Dragon Balls you need in order to summon the dragon? Salute to my anime heads out there. You need 7 Dragon Balls, right? 6 ain't gonna cut it. So if you want to be undisputed, then you got to do what you got to do in order to be undisputed, right? You know what I mean? My guy WJ Lucky says Earl has never fought and beat any unified champions. Bud has, absolutely. And I made this argument on my last live. What's the difference between Errol Spence and Julius Ndongo? I mean, really, accolade-wise. You know what I'm saying? Julius Ndongo was a unified champion. Errol Spence is a unified champion. Now, Errol Spence got 3 belts now, right? But Julius Ndongo had 2 belts for the longest, just like Errol Spence had 2 belts, right? But at the end of the day, they're both unified champions. They're both in the same category. You know what I mean? One or two belts shy of undisputed. My guy, Mind of a Man podcast says, I agree he shouldn't take a pay cut. The belts don't matter. Split 50-50. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Cash says, if Ugas, Danny, Porter, Mikey don't have pay cuts, Bud bet not ever. Yes, sir. Don't take pay cuts, Bud bet not ever. Absolutely. Absolutely. And we're going to talk about that. I'm finna break this motherfucker all the way down. This going to be a gangster ass live, boy. I'm telling you right now. My bad. That was a typo. You all good, fam. You all good in the neighborhood. All right. We all done with the comment section. Let me go ahead and get cooking, man. Let me get cooking. Because this is going to be one hell of a goddamn show. All right. So cool. Here we go. So the current date is July 28th, 2022, y'all. July 28, 2022. Errol Spence fought Yordenis Ugas April 16th, 2022. These niggas have been negotiating officially for 3.5 motherfucking months, y'all. They've been negotiating on this fight. Okay? And that's officially, because unofficially, there's a good chance that they actually were negotiating outside of this, right? Nevertheless, 3 months later, we're still heavy into these negotiations. 3.5 months later, right? Which is crazy. But the big thing about this situation is, for me and for y'all, is I think for the most part, we all just trying to figure out what's the holdup with this particular situation. What's the problem? Why the fuck we waiting so long for this fight to get done? Who's at fault? Why is it taking so long for this shit to get done? Because the fact of the matter is, time is ticking. Ain't that much time to plan for a fight before the year is out. We're in August, you can pretty much say. You ain't got time to plan for a pay-per-view and do all these things. What they going, I mean, even if they schedule a fight for October, you got 2 months before October. That's just long enough for an 8-week camp, but no time to promote the actual fight. November and December are just as close. You know what I mean? So like, this is a real sticky situation, you know, in regards to this fight getting done, not only getting done, but getting done this year in a timely manner. You know what I mean? And my guy Truly Israel came through with the goddamn super chat. Salute to you, fam. Let me read that one time for you real quick. Let me stop what I'm doing and handle this damn super chat. 99 super chat. Salute to you, fam. He say, salute Boxer Die, showing love, King. Let Errol Spence play. He has boots on his heel. Terence Crawford can go fight at 154 pounds and move back down anytime he wants to at 147. If they want to play, let's play. And these are facts. These are facts. When I bring this argument up to a lot of Errol Spence fans, the fact that Errol Spence is backed into a corner and Terence Crawford got options. Oh, they got all kind of problems with that. They don't agree with that. Oh, now what do you mean? What do you mean? Earl's backed into a corner. The fact of the matter is, Terence Crawford can go up. He's already been undisputed. He can hold on to the belt. He can go up to 154. He can fight who he wants at 154. He can go after Jamel if Jamel wants to smoke. He can become undisputed at 154, which would mean much more to his career than an undisputed run at 147 pounds. You know what I mean? So people really undervalue and underestimate the decision-making power or the options that a Terence Bud Crawford really has. So you speaking but nothing but facts, Truly Israel. Salute to you, fam, for that $9.99 super chat. You know what I mean? But let me keep cooking though. Let me keep cooking. So again, the longer this fight takes to get done at the end of the day, the less likely it is in my eyes that this shit actually happens. And if for whatever reason this fight don't happen, like my guy AB predicted, because my guy AB told me a long time ago this fight ain't happen. So if for whatever reason my guy AB is correct, whose fault is it? who's going to have to take the blame for this fight not happening? You know what I mean? But before that, let's talk a little bit about all the conflicting reports from different sources that have alluded to the idea that money is the problem, right? Because we get a lot of people saying that money is the problem. You know what I'm saying? I got the poll up, and a lot of dudes, voting on the poll. And let's check what the poll is right now, because the poll originally, I had 70-something% that said Bud is being lowball. So let's read the poll again real quick before I continue to cook. So the question is, what do you think the problem is when it comes to getting Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence done? Okay. I got 65% of everybody right now that's saying Bud is being lowballed. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit that like button one time for you, boy. I got 12% of everybody that says Bud is asking for too much money, right? I got 18% of y'all that's saying Earl is asking for too much money, right? And then I got 6% of y'all right now at this particular point that's saying Earl is being lowballed, which I think is interesting because I just threw that shit in there just to throw it in there. I ain't think anybody was going to vote for that shit. But apparently there's some people in here that think Earl is being lowballed. So very interesting. You know what I mean? Very, very interesting. But let's keep it going, though. Let's keep it going. So the conflicting reports, again, and even according to the poll, it pretty much says that Bud is at like a percentage of the population was saying Bud is asking for too much money. You know what I'm saying? And some of the reports that I hear is some shit like Bud is asking for the 25 million. I've heard some niggas say Bud is asking for 25 million, 15 million, 20 million. Nobody's seen shit, but I hear all these different reports with these different niggas saying that Bud is asking for this and asking for that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Which would kind of play into the narrative that, you know, Bud is asking for too much money, but there's absolutely nothing to back up what he's asking for. I don't know where these niggas are getting their reports from. But then you have other reports that to me are much more credible. Reports from dudes like Bernie the Boxer alluding to the idea that Bud is being lowballed, which is the highest percentage votes that we got on that poll. Bud is being lowballed and being disrespected at the negotiation table. But the thing about this argument is, it just makes the most sense logically, right? Because when Errol Spence fans like to say, oh, well, they like to use the argument, oh, Bud is asking for too much money. They have nothing to substantiate what it is that they're saying at all. They don't have anybody saying that Bud is asking for too much money. They don't have Bud coming out saying how much he's asking for it. They haven't seen any contracts. They haven't seen anything. But when it comes to the ideology that Bud is being lowballed, there's several receipts to back up that Bud is being disrespected in the negotiation table, right? One of those sources being, and you seen it in the video earlier, Bernie the Boxer. Bernie the Boxer came out and he said it's a conspiracy. If you listen to the video at the beginning of the live, he said it's a conspiracy on Bud Crawford in regards to what's happening out here. He said it's a conspiracy. So that's receipt number one, because we all know Bernie the Boxer is affiliated with Team Bud Crawford. That's at least somebody out of some camp with some information, as opposed to this Bud asking for $25, $35 million, whatever the fuck you niggas want to come up with out of y'all ass that with nothing to substantiate it, right? You know what I'm saying? You know, so anybody to me with a more logical thinking brain is going to believe that Bernie's narrative is much more logical. It makes more sense. But let's break it all the way the fuck down. The facts are Bud Crawford is the only guy over the last 4 years making a legitimate effort to get the fight done. You know? Bud Crawford is the only guy making the effort to get the fight done. Bud Crawford is the guy who got the belt, right? When Keith and Earl told him to get the belt, Bud Crawford's the guy who got the belt. You know what I'm saying? Errol Spence fans like to say Earl's a man of his word, but if he truly was a man of his word, he would have fought Bud right after he got the belt. But Bud Crawford's the one who made the attempt to get a belt. Bud Crawford didn't tell Errol to get a belt. You know what I'm saying? Errol told Bud to get a belt, so Bud Crawford's the one who got a belt. You know what I'm saying? Bud Crawford's the one who waited for Errol Spence to take the easy route. right? He waited on Mikey and Danny and Sean over a 4-year time period. You know what I mean? He waited 4 years for Earl to take the easy route, right? And for a lot of you niggas, the reason why the fight couldn't happen was because Earl needed to collect all his belts on his side of the street, right? But then you want to switch over into the 60-40 argument. And then we're going to dog both of them arguments today. Because at the end of the day, they're both bullshit. We're going to dog both of them shits today. You know what I'm saying? But again, Bud waited on Earl the 4 years to take the easy route, to collect all his belts on his side of the street. Bud waited on that, right? Earl didn't wait on Bud. So this is, again, another sacrifice that Bud is making in order to get the fight done. Bud's the one who got the belt after Earl requested for him to get the belt. Bud's the one who waited on the easy route, 4 long years of easy route of Mikey's and Danny's and Sean's and Ugas's over a 4-year time period. But in addition to that, Bud's the one who decided to cross the street, right? Because another one of Earl's excuses was that he couldn't cross the street, right? Bud was on the other side of the street. He's on the other side of the street, so we can't make the fight happen, right? So if Earl truly wanted the fight, why wouldn't he cross the street over to the top rank side in order to make the fight? Why is it that Bud had to cross the street over to the PBC side in order to make the fight? Why is it that Bud had to do that? Bud fired his promoter, eliminated the side of the street. I just want to know, when has Earl made any attempt to cross the street other than when Jeff Horn had the belt? Because we know when Jeff Horn had the belt, Earl had no problem crossing the side of the street. Oh, the side of the street wasn't nothing to cross because Jeff Horn had a belt and we can unify, right? This what it said in the video, let's unify. But you niggas like to talk about how Bud is being unreasonable in the negotiation table. But Bud has been the one making all the efforts in order to get the fight done over the last 4 years. What has Earl done in order to get the fight done? Let me ask you this question, y'all. How bad do you have to want something in order to leave your promoter that's paying you the most amount of money of any welterweight in order to pursue a fight? How bad do you gotta want something in order to take a pay cut? You know what I'm saying? How bad do you gotta want something in order to take a pay cut? I know a lot of y'all work at a job, but what if I told you that I would give you another job that paid you less money? How many of y'all would take that shit? How many of y'all would take a lower paying job than what it is you make? Riddle me that. All in pursuit of a fight. If that ain't nothing but desire, if that ain't nothing but interest on behalf of Bud Crawford's side. Now, what has Errol Spence done in order to make this fight done? Questions need answers. You dudes like to make the argument and say Bud is asking for too much money. He's asking for 25, 35, 45 million, whatever it is that you niggas want to say. You want to say Bud is being unrealistic and not able to negotiate in a negotiation table. Tell me, why would a dude who made all them sacrifices, who put all them things to the side in order to get this fight, all of a sudden get into the negotiation room and not be reasonable? I just need to know. I got questions that need answers. You know what I'm saying? Let me look at some of these comments. I got a few comments over here. My guy Truly Israel says, swear they got sorted, but they don't. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My Big Kahuna is in the building. Salute to you, say. He said the easiest way to avoid a fight without saying it's a low ball offer, Bud, cause what it say? Bud, cause you know he won't be disrespected with a BS offer. Without saying it is too low ball offer, Bud, cause you know he won't be disrespected with a BS offer. I'm not sure. You got to clarify on that one, fam. I'm not sure what you're talking about on that one. My guy Truly Israel say most of these channels were they sources, but they don't. Yeah, man. A lot of these dudes getting that information from YouTubers, from bloggers and shit. Bud Crawford is asking for $25 million. I'm just trying to figure out where you heard that. Have you seen the contract in order to verify what the hell it is that Bud Crawford is asking for? Show me the document that Bud Crawford signed that said, I want $25 million. Send me the link to the interview where Bud Crawford said, I want $25 million. Give me a friend of a friend of a friend, or even a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend that heard Bud Crawford at the corner of his ear, through the corner of his eye, that said, I want $25 million. You can't do that. You niggas make all these accusations and you got no proof. You got nothing to back up what it is you're talking about. Bud asking for $25 million. But when it comes to Bud Crawford being lowball, when it comes to Bud Crawford being disrespected in the negotiation table, oh, I got at least somebody who can corroborate that there's some form of disrespect that's taking place in the negotiation table. I got the fact that Bud over the last 4 years has made all the efforts, has shown all the interest in making this fight thus far. Meanwhile, on Errol Spence's side, there's been no interest. There's been nothing shown in regards to making a fight with Terence Bud Crawford. Shit, we had to beg Errol Spence to even say Terence Crawford's name. But we're supposed to believe that Errol Spence is operating fair and impartial in a negotiation room. I'm just trying to figure this out. I need clarification from the people out there that really believe this bullshit. You know what I mean? But let's keep it going though. My guy Truly Israel also says, I asked the channel, where did they see Bud Crawford asking for $25 million? Where can I look it up at? They told me it was a source of that when I knew it was cap. Oh, yeah, exactly. A source. Oh, it was a source. Is that right? It was a source. Okay. Does the source just source? Is the source your ass? You know what I mean? My guy Big Kahuna says, to this day, I've never heard anybody talk about what Earl's asking for. Absolutely. If Bud wants $25 million, I'm sure Errol asking for 30 or 45 million or whatever the fuck he asking for. You know what I mean? Everybody want to talk about what Bud asking for. But for some reason, the sources always run dry. The sources always run dry when we're trying to figure out what Errol asking for, right? The sources, they good. They good at the point where we're trying to figure out what we know what Bud asking for. But the sources, for some reason, they didn't hear the part where where they was asking what Errol was asking for. They didn't hear that part. That part got fucked up. You know what I mean? My guy Truly Israel says, and how the hell do you give a fighter that moves up 2 weight classes? And how the hell do you give a fighter that moved up 2 weight classes, a 50-50 split, but not a pound for pound grade? Errol Spence don't want undisputed. Facts, bro. And we're going to go through that. We're going to talk about that. Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about that. My guy Flat Out TV in the building. Salute to you, Flat Out TV. Salute to you. Okay, my guy Knockout Boxing 86 TV here in the building. Salute to you, fam. Y'all be sure to subscribe to the homie Knockout Boxing 86 TV. Got some good boxing content over there. My guy Flat Out TV. I'm not sure if you got a channel, but it looked like you do. Y'all be sure to subscribe to my guy Flat Out TV. Appreciate you, fam, for coming on through. And if any of y'all are new to this channel, be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe one time for your boy. I would greatly, greatly appreciate that. But let's keep going, though. Let's keep going. And where I left off with is, the facts are, Bud Crawford has made all the sacrifices in order for this fight to get done. And Errol Spence, all he's done is create new barriers. Like 60-40, 70-30, 80-20. You know what I mean? Sean Porter got a belt. You know what I'm saying? All these different things. Danny Garcia got 60-40 in their negotiation. And we're going to talk more about that. But I just want to know, in general, what has Errol Spence done in order to get this fight with a Terence Bud Crawford? You know what I'm saying? What has he done? You know what I'm saying? If Errol Spence, if we had if we was doing a group project and this was school, Errol Spence would be that one dude ain't doing no work, right? He would be that one dude that's holding the group back if it was a group assignment. Do you remember them group assignments in school? You remember using school and the teacher partnering you up with somebody? and you get that one lazy nigga who don't want to do nothing. That's Errol Spence. But because again, the niggas put forth no effort in order to make this fight happen. But you're supposed to tell me that Bud Crawford is being unreasonable in these negotiations. You know what I mean? My guy Troy Soros in the building. Salute to you, Troy. Yes, sir. Salute to you, man. My guy Knockout Boxing say, subscribe, hit that man like button, and turn on notifications. King David Steak Cooking. It just ain't the right meal. I ordered steak and he feeding me hamburgers. No, you order steak and I'm feeding you filet mignon, Knockout. You're getting that high quality steak, goddamn. You just don't want to eat it. You're not used to filet mignon. You know what I'm saying? You're not used to filet mignon. You like them ribeyes. You like them other cuts. You like that prime rib. You probably like that New York strip. That New York strip. That's what you like, Knockout. The New York strip. You know what I'm saying? You're not used to the filet mignon. You're not used to the prime, the ribeye. You ain't used to that juicy ribeye cut. You know what I mean? My guy D-Ray Promotions in the motherfucking building. Salute to you, fam. In the motherfucking building. I can't see the emoji. Hold on. Let me go. Let me see. I see emoji on here. See emoji on here. And while I'm stopping here, let me look at this poll real quick. You know what I mean? Let me look at this poll. The poll is, what do you think the problem is when it comes to getting this Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence fight done? I asked the question, what do y'all think is the problem? Right? I got 63% of y'all right now that say Bud Crawford is being lowballed. All right. I got 19% of y'all right now that's saying Bud is asking for too much money. And then I got 15% of y'all. Sorry, just changed literally in front of my eyes. And then I got 18% of y'all that's saying Earl's asking for too much money. Okay. And then I got 4% of y'all that's saying Errol is being lowballed. You know what I mean? So that is the poll right now. But again, my choice is the first one, which is Bud is being lowballed at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Which is the highest percentage here in the chat. And I explain why, but I'll go through it briefly. I'll explain why I think Bud is being lowballed. I think Bud is being lowballed because the logic and the facts support that more than likely it's a lowball on behalf of PBC. Why? Because Bud has made all the efforts. He's made all the sacrifices in order to ensure that this fight gets done. Bud Crawford's the one that crossed the street. Bud Crawford's the one that allowed the easy route to conclude. He's the one that did that. Bud Crawford's the one that got a belt when Keith Thurman and Errol Spence told Bud he needed to get a belt in order to make the fight happen. Bud Crawford was the one that did that. You know what I mean? We actually have a source corroborating the fact that Bud Crawford is being lowballed and, on behalf of Bernie the Boxer. You know what I mean? Therefore, the logic speaks to the fact that Bud is being lowballed. As for Bud asking for too much money, you know what I mean? Which seems to be the other narrative out there. We got no contract saying Bud's asking for too much money. We got no proof. We got no he say, she say. We got nobody to even say they name in regards to Bud Crawford being asking for too much money. We got nobody corroborating this story at all. No contract, no pictures, no interviews, nothing. Nobody from Team Earl said that, nothing. You know what I mean? You know, but let's keep it cooking though. Let's keep it cooking. Let's keep it on cooking. You know what I mean? Now, I'm going to open up the chat, but before I do that, let's talk a little bit about this 50-50 stuff, right? Let's talk a little bit about that. And I know you're going to love this knockout. This is your favorite topic. I know you did a live about this. Let's talk about this 50-50 stuff, right? You know what I mean? Because unfortunately, the 50-50 stuff still seems to be a topic of conversation, even though I feel like I killed that damn argument. But it still seems to be a topic of conversation in regards to whether or not Bud Crawford should get 50-50. You know what I mean? And frankly, I just don't understand why it's such a big deal. I don't understand why two dudes who really want to make the fight happen, I don't understand why this would be an issue. If both fighters wanted the fight equally, in my eyes, it should be a 50-50 split. You know what I mean? And furthermore, to go back to what my guy said a little while ago, he made a comparison to Devin Haney. He said, well, Devin Haney made all these sacrifices in order to make sure the fight got done with George Kambosos, right? That was his argument. But the fact of the matter is, when you use that argument, the shoe really don't fit. The shoe really don't fit. It's really a tight fit. It's really, really tight. As a matter of fact, your toes are busting up out them shoes because the shoe don't fit. Because at the end of the day, if we're making any kind of comparison, Devin Haney would be closer to a Errol Spence than it would be to a Terence Bud Crawford at the end of the day. Why? Because Devin Haney was the guy who was pursuing undisputed, right? Much like Errol Spence is trying to do right now, right? Not necessarily Terence Bud Crawford, although an undisputed run would be nice for him. He's not necessarily as passionate about it because this would be his second undisputed run as opposed to Errol Spence. So when people make that argument, I like to put them in the place of Devin Haney being the guy or Errol Spence being the guy who would be equivalent to Devin Haney needing to make the necessary sacrifices in order to get the fight done. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm at with this shit right here. But again, let's get back into the 50-50 shit because all that goes right into the 50-50 talk, right? All that goes right into the 50-50 talk. So the first reason why this 50-50 stuff is dead, right? is Spence fans love to talk about numbers and talk business, but they always leave out one of the most important parts of business, right? They always giving you numbers. They always adding up numbers, doing subtraction and addition. They got their little calculator out and they calculating all the pay-per-view numbers that have been done by Errol Spence over the last 10 years, right? And they know their numbers. But one thing that these dudes who like to talk about business always forget about business is one of the most important parts of business, which is leverage. And what is leverage, you may ask? Leverage is when I own a piece of the pie that you need. Leverage is when I control access to the gate that you're trying to go through. When leverage is you can't do this without my say-so. That's what leverage is. That's actually a more important part of business than numbers. And Errol Spence fans seem to always forget this. They never mention this in the business talk. They never mention that Errol Spence can't become undisputed without a Terence Bud Crawford. Therefore, it puts him in a compromising position. A position where he's forced to negotiate, right? They never want to talk about this because in a lot of cases, it doesn't suit their argument. But at the end of the day, this very fact is the reason why you have fighters like Danny Garcia. You have fighters like Sean Porter, who are still able to get a 50-50 split, even though they don't necessarily have the pay-per-view backing, even though they don't necessarily have the experience, even though they don't necessarily have a belt or anything to bring to the table in order to justify a 60-40 split, right? This is the reason why an Errol Spence can go in and he can give Dennis Ugas a 50-50 split, even though Dennis Ugas is a guy with 4 losses, a guy who, as far as pay-per-view, had never been on pay-per-view and for the foreseeable future will never be on pay-per-view. Leverage is the reason why Errol Spence had to give a Dennis Ugas a 50-50 split and even a Danny Garcia and a Sean Porter, a 60-40 split. And even a Mikey Garcia, a 50-50 split. All of which had no pay-per-view experience prior to Errol Spence Jr. All of which, for the most part, had no belt. These dudes had leverage, therefore were able to negotiate as such. Errol Spence needed a big name fight in order to further build his name. Therefore, he needed to make some sacrifices in order to get a Danny Garcia fight made. Right? Because a lot of you niggas like to use the numbers very literally, right? I done heard some niggas say, oh, well, Bud has done 1/10 of Earl's numbers. Therefore, Bud should get a 1/10 split. He should get an 80-20 split because he's only done 20% of Earl's numbers. Well, if that's the case, based on that very same logic, Danny Garcia, Mikey Garcia, Sean Porter before Errol Spence has zero pay-per-view experience. Therefore, they should get no money, right? They should be destitute. They shouldn't get a payout because they got no pay-per-view experience, right? According to you niggas and you niggas logic. But we know that's not the case. We know that Danny Garcia and Sean Porter and Mikey Garcia brought something to the table in order to justify getting the money and the payout they got. We know that your Dennis Ugas brought something to the table in order to justify the 50-50 split that he got from Errol Spence Jr. But what was that he brought to the table? None other than leverage, right? So let's talk a little bit about leverage. You know what I mean? Why don't y'all bring up leverage when you talk about these business dealings? Why don't y'all bring up leverage when you start talking all these numbers? Why isn't that a part of y'all argument? Right? And then let's keep it going. Spence friends love to bring up numbers, but they can't explain why your Dennis Ugas got a 50-50 split. Again, leverage. Right? And let's go ahead, let's go on and nip this into the bud, right? Let's nip this in the bud right now as far as this 50-50 split stuff, right? Let's make sure that everybody understand that this was a 50-50 split. Let's do this right now. Hold on real quick. Video file, share screen. Okay, so my content source is from a boxing website called sportingnews.com. Okay. Y'all can go on and look it up. As a matter of fact, it'll be the first article you find if you look up the pay-per-view split between Errol Spence and your Dennis Ugas, right? A lot of the articles that people like to use when they try to deflate these kinds of arguments is another article, right? The first article that came out in regards to the pay-per-view split. But the thing about it is that a few articles have come out since that first article came out, right? And the numbers look quite similar, if I do say so myself, in regards to the article. But even though it looks similar, it gives you a little more credibility as far as the numbers on this end, right? So sportingnews.com is where I'm getting this information in regards to the pay-per-view split, because I hear a lot of people say that Ugas didn't get a pay-per-view split, right? But let's take a look at this article here. This article says, oh, this ain't even the right article that I wanted to pull up. This article is quoting from totalsportsportal.com. Hold on a second. There's another article that I wanted to show y'all. Hold up. This ain't even a right article, y'all. Let me read some comments while I'm getting that together, y'all. Hold on. My guy D-Ray Promotion say a sirloin steak dinner. All right, Postman laughing. Okay, I see you. My guy Beige in the building. Salute to you, Beige. He said, I have a feeling they already negotiated a deal with a non-disclosure agreement included in the contract. That might be the reason why they acting like there ain't no progress. Maybe. I mean, you might be right. I mean, we can only hope that you're right. You know what I mean? We can only hope that you're right. My guy Knockout Boxing 86 TV say, probably not going to like what you have to say, but I'm listening. Salute to you, Knockout. My guy D-Ray Mercer say, listen real close. Y'all funny, man. Y'all say, okay, y'all going back and forth a little bit. My guy D-Ray say, end of the easy road, Troll Bridge taxes respectfully. Salute to y'all, man. My guy D-Ray say, blessings, King. Salute to y'all. Knockout Boxing 86 say, that's disrespectful to say Bud has done 20% of Earl's numbers. Bud has done 28% of Earl's numbers. So that means he should get a 71 according to that logic. That means that Bud should get a 71 71, 72 to 28 split. That's what that means, right? According to a lot of Errol Spence fans. But my thing is, if that's how it worked, then then Danny Garcia should have got paid nothing. Mikey Garcia should have got paid nothing. You know what I mean? Dennis Ugas should have got paid nothing. You know what I mean? All these dudes that Errol Spence fought that had no pay-per-view history prior to Errol Spence, they should have got paid nothing because they got no history of pay-per-view. Actually, Dennis Ugas do got some history. He did fight Manny Pacquiao in Manny Pacquiao's lowest pay-per-view event known in history. You know what I mean? But according to this, you know what I'm saying, a lot of these dudes should get a 0% split. Now I got back and say, I told you, bro, them articles reference that BS Total Sports article. Ugas did not get no 50-50. Oh, there's another article knockout. As a matter of fact, hold on a second, bro. Hold on. Let me find the goddamn article. Give me a second, y'all. Give me a second. I don't want to slow down the show. I'm going to keep cooking, and I'm going to look for that article, and I'm going to just show y'all a little bit later. You know what I'm saying? But let's keep it going with that. You know what I mean? But there's another article knockout that you need to see that does not reference the BS Total Sportal article that you're talking about. You know what I mean? I just got to get the link to it real quick. You know what I'm saying? But in any case, here we go. So another reason that Bud Crawford, and this is another thing that Errol Spence fans don't want to talk about, but another reason that Bud Crawford should get a 50-50 split is because the fact of the matter is, the only reason we even talking about this fight is because Terence Crawford is in it. If it was Errol Spence and anybody else, 9 times out of 10, no one would really give a fuck. Outside of Errol Spence immediate fans. But for the most part, the reason that this is the biggest fight in boxing, the reason that this is the fight that everybody cares about, the reason why everybody wants to see this fight is because Terence Crawford is in the fight. So if he's an integral part of the reason why this fight is the biggest fight in boxing right now, why wouldn't he deserve a more than favorable split? Why wouldn't he deserve, at very least, a 50-50 split? I'm just trying to figure that out. You know what I mean? I'm really just trying to figure that out. You know what I'm saying? And another thing about this situation is this. To even go further in regards to why Bud should get a 50-50 split. You got guys like Steven Espinoza coming out saying that he deserves that if the fight is 50-50 or pretty close. Right? Steven Espinoza, the most impartial person that you can think of in this entire negotiation process. Okay, Bud Crawford is now, the most impartial person when it comes to these negotiations, right? Because we know Steven Espinoza is associated with Showtime, which is associated with PBC. Therefore, 9 times out of 10, his verbiage, right, his narrative should be slanted more towards a PBC route, right? Yet and still, Steven Espinoza is still making the argument that if it's not 50-50, it's pretty close. So I don't understand why people could go around saying that Bud Crawford should take a 60-40 split. That Bud Crawford should take less money. That Bud Crawford need to humble himself, quote Jermell Charlo, right? That Bud Crawford got to do what Devin Haney did. That Bud Crawford got to make all these sacrifices in addition to the sacrifices he already made over the last 4 years, waiting on the easy route, getting a belt first, right? That Bud Crawford should have to take a 60-40 or a 70-30 split. When Steven Espinoza himself, president of Showtime Sports himself, came out of his mouth and said, if it ain't 50-50, it's pretty close. What makes you think that for any reason, Steven Espinoza has any reason to lie on behalf of Terence Bud Crawford? When it's pretty clear that Steven Espinoza is affiliated with PBC. I'm gonna need y'all to figure that out. You know what I mean? I'm gonna need some answers and some responses in regards to that. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm about to do is I'm about to go ahead. I'm gonna close up shop here. I'm gonna close up shop here in a second. But in closing, before I open up the panel, I just want to say, at the end of the day, it's like this. We really don't know what the problem is in regards to why we haven't gotten an announcement, why the fight's not happening at this particular moment. We really don't know. All we're really doing as boxing fans is speculating. All we really do is taking evidence, taking facts, taking things, and then drawing a conclusion from it. None of us know definitively one way or another. But one thing that I will say is, based on the evidence, if this fight doesn't happen, for whatever reason, it's on Errol Spence. You know what I mean? And the evidence supports that. Once again, Terence Crawford's the one who crossed the street. Terence Crawford's the one who waited on the easy route. Terence Crawford's the one who got the belt. Terence Crawford's the one who made all the sacrifices needed in order to get the fight done. While on the other hand, Errol has made none. While on the other hand, Errol has shown no interest in this fight up until April 16th, when they finally said the name of a Terence Bud Crawford. So I leave you with that, and I drop the goddamn link. So anybody that want to come on here and cook, feel free to come on and cook, man, because that's what we do. Love to hear y'all opinions on this. Hold on, let me get that thing ready for you. Boom, there you go. There you go. Okay. And while I'm waiting for somebody to join, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to look at this poll. Let me see what this poll talking about right now. Pause. Let me see what this poll talking about. Hold on. All right. So right now I got 40 votes. You know what I'm saying? I got 40 votes. And again, the question is, what do you think the problem is when it comes to getting the fight done between Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, right? I got 70% of everybody right now that's saying Bud is being lowballed. Okay. I got 15% of everybody that's saying Bud is asking for too much money. I got 12% of everybody that's saying Errol's asking for too much money. And I got 3% of everybody that's saying Errol is being lowballed. You know what I mean? So those are the current poll numbers. You know what I mean? Going on right here. Again, the overwhelming majority of people think that Bud is being lowballed, which is my thoughts exactly, based on the evidence, based on, the all the things that we can go over in our minds before us. You know what I'm saying? Let me go ahead and read these comments, and then we got a guest that just hopped on the panel. I'm gonna go to the guest after I read these comments real quick. So I got D-Ray Promotions that say, if you add stank up on a step up fee with Ugas equal EJ 50-50 split. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. They pay, and that's another thing. They so did pay your Dennis Ugas. They pay, Stanionis the step aside money. You know what I mean? You pay Stanionis step aside money when you really could have used that money to help make this fight. Am I right or am I wrong? Because that step aside money wasn't necessary. We could have got Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford for 3 belts. We could have got the winner of Stanionis and Ugas later on in the year. You know what I mean? We didn't need that fight right away. So why pull money out your pocket in order to make this fight? In order to make that fight as opposed to the fight that everybody wants to see. You know what I'm saying? My guy D-Ray Promotion say, enjoy breaking down Keith and Errol. Yeah, absolutely. My guy D-Ray also says, Showtime want the smoke. Bud want the smoke on the platform. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Damel says Bud deserves a 65-35 split for EJ. Spence is giving an Xmas gift at 60-40. So if he giving, my thing though, here go, right, Demir, if he giving Bud a Christmas gift, right, for 60-40, would that mean that he gave Danny and Sean Porter a Christmas gift as well? Danny didn't even have a belt and had 2 losses. So Bud Crawford is supposed to take the same deal that a Danny Garcia with no belt, 2 losses, never been on pay-per-view. He's supposed to take the same deal that Danny Garcia took, according to you, the Mayor 77. You know what I mean? Am I right or am I wrong? Is that what you're telling me? So you putting Bud Crawford in the same category as Danny Garcia? Am I right or am I wrong? And then Lightspeed here in the building. Salute to you, Lightspeed. He say Errol Spence is being lowballed. That crowd should call in and share. I would just love to hear that explained. Absolutely, man. I love to hear it too. All right, but we're done with the comments for right now, man. I got my guy Cash in there, hopped in the panel. Salute to you, Cash. What's going on with you, fam? You there, Cash? You on mute right now, fam. If you're trying to talk, I wouldn't know. There you go.
No, I'm on mute. I'm letting you the panel fill up before I start talking. You good right now?
Oh, okay. You just chilling at the moment. Okay, cool. Yeah, man. So all right, let me drop that link again. If anybody want to come through, y'all can come through. But again, man, so basically, let me cook on what the mayor is saying, right? Because the mayor brings up a point that I hear a lot of Errol Spence fans bring up, right? They like to say that Bud deserves a 65-35 split. Bud deserves 60-40. So essentially, when you make that argument, you're saying Bud should take the same deal Danny Garcia took with no belt, no pay-per-view experience, 2 losses. Essentially, that's what you're saying Bud Crawford should take. When you're saying that Bud deserves 65-35, essentially you're saying that Bud Crawford should take a less deal than your Dennis Ugas. A guy who got 50-50. A guy with 4 losses. A guy with 0 to less pay-per-view experience. He got a little bit with Manny Pacquiao. That's about it. But other than that, no pay-per-view experience. Other than with one of the all-time leading sellers in pay-per-view. You telling me that's why that Bud Crawford should take a less deal than your Dennis Ugas. And let me find this article real quick, man, because this article's out there. Hold on, y'all. Let me find this article, because the article is there, fam. Hold on, DK Nation. Hold on, y'all. You know, because don't nobody want to believe the article. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so this is another website. I'm not sure how credible this website is. There's another one that I want to find, but the point I want to make is that there's several websites right now giving this pay-per-view split, right? That are saying Spence Ugas was a 50-50 as far as the pay-per-view was concerned, right? There's a few different sources. Let me share this one. Hold on. Boom. Okay, so this is Surprise Sports. Surprise Sports is saying each fighter gets a 50% share on pay-per-view commission. They're not referencing totalsportal.com. Okay. This is just a regular website. Okay. Regular website. Spence versus Ugas, pay-per-view and earnings. SurpriseSports.com. Okay, that's just a random website. Let's see if we can find another one. We could just go down the list of Google search, really, is at what we're doing at this point. Here you go, another website. Oh, they ain't like bullshit. Here you go, another website. Let's see what they say. They don't even have a thing on there. See if they got a split on here. They don't even have it on here. They don't have it on this particular website, but we can go to another one because I saw several. You know what I'm saying? But that's the point that I'm trying to make on here, man. It's several different articles all reporting the same thing. So you mean to tell me all the articles is lying? All the articles are fictitious when it comes to these pay-per-view splits, when it comes to these pay-per-view numbers. They all getting their sources from totalsportal.com when there's several. Come on, man. And then let's not forget the fact, and even if you don't want to believe no article, let's not forget the fact that Dennis Ugas is on record saying that he was demanding a 50-50 split from Errol Spence Jr. So y'all mean to tell me that y'all don't remember Dennis Ugas demanding a 50-50 split from Errol Spence Jr.? So you mean to tell me you think Dennis Ugas backed down on that, knowing full and well he had all the leverage, knowing full and well knowing he had all the right to ask for a 50-50, knowing that the only other option for Errol Spence at the time was a Bud Crawford and a Boots Ennis? Knowing full and well that Errol Spence paid $1 million, not Errol Spence, but PBC paid $1 million to Stanionis to step aside in order to make the fight happen? You telling me you don't think Dennis Ugas had the leverage to ask for a 50-50 split? So y'all dudes that saying it wasn't a 50-50 split, see, there's just too much evidence to support that it actually was a 50-50 split, because if you're saying it ain't a 50-50 split, I got articles that support that it was a 50-50 split. And then if you're saying it wasn't a 50-50 split, if you're saying you don't believe none of the articles and all of them are bunk, then let's talk about the fact that Dennis Ugas demanded 50-50 in the negotiations. It was headlines. Let's talk about the fact that Dennis Ugas had all the leverage, right? That word I used earlier, all the leverage in order to ask for a 50-50 split. So I'm going to leave y'all with that. My guy Lightspeed done entered the building. Salute to you, Lightspeed. What's going on with you, fam? If you're talking right now, I can't hear you, man. You muted. You there, Lightspeed? All right, I don't know what's going on with Lightspeed at the moment, but let's look at some of these comments while we going. I got a few comments over here. Lightspeed says Errol's being lowballed. That crowd should call in and share. I will. Okay, absolutely. Okay, that's what he said earlier. I read that already. My guy, Buckle Up Boxing Talk in the building. Salute to you, Buckle Up. Hey man, y'all be sure to subscribe to Buckle Up Boxing Talk, man. Pulling up on your boy Boxer Die here. You know what I mean? Appreciate you, fam. Y'all be sure to subscribe to Buckle Up Boxing. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, at the end of the day, it's like this, man. I'm gonna go and sum it up because I see we got somebody else that didn't join us here. Hold on a second, y'all. Okay, my guy Bold and Understanders done made it into the building. Salute to you, Bold. What's going on with you?
Hey, what's up, man?
Not much, man. Chilling, man. Talking this good boxing here today. What's up with you?
Shoot, just getting out of work, man. I'm kind of like, the rest of them. I don't know if this fight gonna be made or not, man. I kind of been past it because I've been tired of waiting all these years. And the thing is that people, a lot of Errol Spence fans was always talking about Bob Arum lying. Bob, didn't want to make the fight, or Crawford needed to cross the street and all that other stuff. And here it is, Terence Crawford is no longer with Top Rank, and we still got the same issues going on. But right now, since they ran out of running, blaming Bob, they now trying to blame Crawford.
Yeah, man. And I was saying it a little bit earlier on here, man. Bud Crawford's made all the sacrifices in order to get the fight done. Bud Crawford's been the one crossing the street and waiting on the easy route and getting the belts and all that stuff. All the things that were said needed to be done in order to make the fight happen. So it's very hard for me to believe that Errol Spence, that Bud Crawford would go into a negotiation room and not be reasonable, given that he's made all these sacrifices in order to get the fight done. Right? You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, this is all speculation. Like I said earlier, like they could have the fight done. You know, like even Knockout. Knockout said he think the fight done. You know what I mean? Which it could be the case. But I'm here to say it right now that if for whatever reason this fight don't happen, I'm blaming Errol Spence. I think that anybody could have seen that coming. But to me, it's definitely on Errol Spence if the fight don't happen. What you think about that, Bo?
I mean, I don't know. I say it's definitely on the PBC, you know, and yeah, I think we could give it. We could say Errol Spence could share the blame, but my thing is I don't think Errol Spence was his own boss or the boss that everybody thought he was. You know, it's just that PBC. To me, I think that's the biggest problem out of all of them. You know, it is like I said, a lot of guys was making videos trying to blame everybody else but the PBC. And PBC is known for, you know, they over marinate stuff. You know, my thing is like this fight should have happened years ago, just like the Tank Davis and Vasily Lomachenko fight should have happened years ago. But the fact of the matter is that they're not doing it, you know, and to me it's really upsetting. I mean, like how many times like fights been delayed and somehow, or it wasn't made and somehow it's because it has something to do with the PBC. I'm not saying it's always the PBC fault, but it just seemed like it's a coincidence, you know. Like Jamar and Andre never fought. Caleb Plant and Benavidez never fought. You know, I could, the list goes on and on and on, and there's always something with the PBC that's happening to be involved with it, and that's where I get tired of all the time, pretty much.
You know the thing about me when people say like when you say that the PBC, you say it's the PBC. The reason why I say Errol Spence instead of PBC is because at the end of the day, the PBC represents Errol Spence. That's his team. You know what I mean? They make their decisions in my mind together because Earl got to sign off on all the fights that get done and all the fights that don't get done, right? He has to say yes or no. You know what I mean? If it's something otherwise, tough. That's how I'm looking at it because at the end of the day, he hired them to be his promoter and his management team. That's why I always look at the fighter. You know what I mean? Because to me, the facts for me just prove that when the fighters want to get the fight done, the fight gets done. You know, so that's the only reason why I don't ever really say the promoter or, you know, I don't want to blame brands or anything. Like I don't top rank. Like I don't like if the fighters want to get it done, the fight gets done. You know, if they want
I 100% agree with that. I mean that fight should have been done. You know, it's just that what I hate is that you got a lot of Errol Spence diehard fans. They make excuses up like they say, "Oh, Errol Spence said he wants to collect all the belts first." Well, that ain't happened when Terence Crawford pulled up on him. He was just talking about getting all the belts on, you know, first, and then I'll fight you. You know, he ain't said that until like 2019, and Terence Crawford pulled up on him in 2018. You know what I'm saying? So to me, yeah, it was a delay and all this other stuff, but. Like I said, I just been so frustrated. Like this fight should have got made. And to me, I always kept saying, man, like I think, you know, they trying to age this dude out personally. And I understand people say he lives the boxing lifestyle, but at the end of the day, the man going on 35, Father Time, you know what I'm saying, is undefeated. And another year, if this thing goes on for another year, if this fight ain't made, now we talking about 36. If it go on again 37, then they'd be like, "Oh, okay, let's make the fight happen now." I mean, to me, it's just frustrating, man.
Yeah, I hear you, fam. Let me address this comment, then I'm gonna go to Knockout Boxing 86 TV. My guy Eddie 1229. He say Bud is pricing himself out. Period. Okay, if he pricing himself out, what's the offer, fam? What's the number Bud asking for? And then after you answer that question, tell me where you got your source from. Because if it's a YouTuber or if it's from something that you heard or saw in the comment section, I'm not trying to hear referenced here in the conversation, fam. Just point blank, period. You know what I'm saying? But let me go to my guy, Knockout Boxing 86 TV. He done made it here in the building. Salute to you, fam. What's going on with you?
Man, I'm chilling, bro. Salute to you, King David. Salute to Bold. I don't know the other brothers on the panel, but salute to y'all as well, bro.
And I mean, you right. I think the fight done first and foremost. I just think they pulling the wool over our eyes. You don't see Showtime posting no damn Terence Crawford interviews and Errol Spence confident about the fight. Terence Crawford confident about the fight. Fucking Derrick James coming back talking about vacation over. We gotta get one more belt and shit. Like everybody that actually like is close to the fight, they acting like that shit done, bro. So that's what I'm choosing to believe. But as far as like for the sake of having this hypothetical conversation, bro, like all these ifs. So you said, King David, something that really caught my ears. You said if this fight don't happen, no matter what, I'm blaming Errol Spence. And I think that's dangerous, bro, because it depends on why the fight don't happen as to who we blame. Like, what if Errol Spence is asking for a one-way rematch clause? Then hell yeah, if the fight don't happen, that shit Earl fault. Because if anybody deserve a rematch clause, it's both of them. They both champions. So if Terrence want a rematch clause, he should get that shit. If Earl want a rematch clause, he should get that shit. If they trying to if Terence Crawford is asking for $30 million and that's the or $20 million or $25 million, and that's the reason that the fight don't happen, then shit, we gotta blame Bud for that shit. Like your biggest pay is $6 million. You want 3.5 times more money than you ever made in your life for this fight. But when Danny Garcia was trying to overprice himself and fucking Keith Thurman was asking for $10 million, I don't know if y'all was saying it, but there were some Bud Crawford fans that was like, yo, they pricing themselves out, they scared. So we gotta keep that same energy. So for me, I ain't assigning blame to Earl. I ain't assigning blame to Bud. I ain't assigning blame to the PBC. I'm waiting to see if this shit don't happen. And then when we find out why it don't happen, then that's who should assign blame. I don't think, and this is to Errol Spence fans, like I don't think if the fight don't happen, you should blame Bud no matter what. But the same thing for Bud Crawford fan. Like if the fight don't happen, you shouldn't blame Earl no matter what. You should look at why this shit don't happen and why the negotiations fall through. And that's my take on what you was just talking about right now. As far as your poll, bro, I love the poll. Errol Spence ain't like the Errol Spence shit. The people that's voting on the Errol Spence being lowballed or Errol Spence overpricing himself. To me, that's bullshit. It's got to be one of the Terence Crawford answers on your resume. Either Terence Crawford is being lowballed or Terence Crawford is overpricing himself. And I used it, in my opinion, is based on facts. Number one, Earl been doing business with the PBC his entire goddamn career. So the odds of them not knowing what he want for the fight, the odds of them all of a sudden hitting some sort of snag where they don't know how to close a deal with Errol Spence, that shit is a very low possibility because he's been dealing with him for his entire career. On the Terence Crawford side, he coming from a place where he used to get high-ass guarantees. That ain't the PBC business model. And so he's dealing with somebody that he ain't never dealt with before, ain't never negotiated with. So the hold up, and I ain't saying it's nobody's fault because we don't know. That's why my shit yesterday, King David, if you really look, all my shit was prefaced with if this is true. And okay, so we don't know, bro. We don't know if Bud is asking for too much, and we don't know if the PBC is lowballing him. But it's one of them two. It's one of them two. It's on his side because he ain't never did business with them people before. That's just my opinion, bro.
Hey, Boxer Die.
What going on with you, fam?
Salute. This is Lightspeed.
Yeah, Lightspeed. Yeah, man. I was gonna bring you on next, bro. You go ahead. You got a question first, and then you can just make your opening statement.
Just real quick, because I know you gotta cook, because that was basically addressed to you. But I guess with that whole comment, if it's only of the two of either Bud is pricing himself out or he's being lowballed. Based on what we've seen, knockout, what do you think is more likely, that Bud is being lowballed or he's being priced out? Based on what we've seen, based on the what has been sort of mentioned in the media from either camps.
Basically, if you're talking about what's mentioned in the media from the camps, I'm looking at Bud Crawford and I'm saying my honest opinion is that the shit is already done. But if you're talking about like what Bernie is saying, or if you're talking about like when you say the camps, are you talking about Bernie the boxer? Is that who you talking? Because he's the only one from Bud camp that's been talking. So is that who you talking about? Because I don't want to reference him if that ain't who you talking about.
Guess what you talking about, Lightspeed?
Yeah, sorry, my connection when he responded, my connection for some reason was being funny.
Yeah, I was asking you, Lightspeed. I'm glad I know your name now, bro. I was asking you, like, when you say from both camps, the only person I've heard talk for Bud is Bud himself, and I've heard Bernie talk for him. And then for Earl, I've heard Earl say a little something. I've heard Derrick James say a little something. When you say Bud Camp, are you talking about what Bernie been saying?
Well, I'm saying
So I
Bud
want to
Camp
answer your
and
question
I'm
correctly.
saying Bud Camp and Spence Camp. From what we've heard, have you heard Bud's Camp talk about numbers that might seem like he's priced himself out, or have you more so heard Spence Camp talking about numbers that are lowballing Bud? Just based on what we've seen, what do you think is more likely?
Being real, Lightspeed, if you really paying attention, ain't nobody throwing out no numbers. Ain't none of them really saying what when Bernie.
All
Hold
right,
on,
when
hold on. Before y'all go forward with this conversation, let me make sure I let the other person on the panel give their opening statement.
My bad. Yep, I'm done. Yep.
Yeah, Cash, man, what's going on, man? You been quiet over there, man. You got anything to add to this conversation? What's going on?
No, I'm listening, man. I'm listening until y'all say something that intrigues me. But right now, I'm kind of agreeing. I'm agreeing with what you're saying for the most part right now. So I don't want to repeat what you're saying because I'm kind of on the same page right now. So until things change, then I say something. But if you want somebody to take my place too, I'd hop off.
Okay, no, we chilling right now. We still got
All
five.
right.
We got room for two up. One other person even. It's one guy that's coming in and out. I don't know what's happening, but
Okay.
but you good for
But
right
no,
now, man.
I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm listening right now.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Right.
So what I was saying was when you hear guys like Bernie, when you hear them talk and they claim that Bud is being lowballed or why he can't have 50-50, you don't never hear them throw out no numbers with the shit. He'll just say some shit. And then when you hear Errol Spence, which I don't see nobody really talking for Earl other than other YouTube channels, you hear them try to throw out numbers, but you can't corroborate that shit. So in
Okay,
my opinion,
hold on, real quick, now, guy. I'm sorry to interrupt you again, bro. But
you
Michael,
good, bro. It's your shit.
Michael Arrington has been waiting a little while to speak. Michael, what's going on with you, fam? Welcome to the panel. You know what I mean? What do you have to add to the conversation? What's your thoughts?
Well, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you good, fam.
All right. So first of all, I want to talk about always the missing piece when everybody talk about this fight. People have a constant saying that Bud has never faced anyone like Spence. That is absolutely not true because, first of all, Sean Porter, which everyone who tries to say you're a butt dick rider when you bring up that fight, you say, all right, Errol Spence went 12 rounds with Porter. Debatably, some people feel Porter won. I'm a person who feels Porter won, and I don't like Porter as a fighter at all. I think he's just a dirty boxer. But at the end of the day, I felt that he won that fight. When I look at Errol Spence's face as opposed to Porter's face, I'm like, yo, Errol got his ass whipped. When I look at Spence versus Porter, okay, people, Spence was told, Bud was told, you're down. Bud got up, looked back, and then went out and just demolished this dude. He said he didn't want to fight his friend, so I don't know a dude who's going to go out and fight your friend and you trying to knock the dude out, and it's not like y'all fighting because this dude done fucked your girl or disrespected your moms or some shit like that. So when I look at Porter versus Crawford, Porter versus Spence, one went 12 rounds, one got a corner stoppage TKO. You bring up Amir Khan. Oh, Amir Khan wasn't shit. Okay, so tell me another fight in Amir Khan's career where the motherfucker quit the fight in the 4th round. And then gave a bullshit excuse, you low blow. That was some bullshit. The dude knew he couldn't outbox this guy. When they say he's never faced anyone, Porter was the guy who was supposed to come forward, the beast that coming forward, hard to stop coming forward. Spence was the number 2 guy. But quiet as kept, everyone knows the Benavidez brothers are dudes that throw retarded amounts of punches and they come straight at you. So when you try to say Bud has never faced someone like Spence, okay, I've got 2 examples for you. Sean Porter and Benavidez. And he won both those fights. So what the fuck is you talking about? What are we talking here? You know, so I see when I look at Bud's career, he's a 3-division champion, pound for pound. I see a guy who just has those accolades, has far more ring experience than Errol Spence, who started his career at 154, noticed that he can't really compete with the better fighters at 154, so he moved down to get the advantage. Hence came the name when Errol Spence went down in weight, the weight bully. But all of this shit is never talked about by nobody. And I used to fuck with LDBC Hard Body. You know what I'm saying? Blue Blood, Fanon, 7-8, fucking BF. But I noticed that they kept on saying he could have fought someone. There's a difference between could and what's actually happened. When you say could, that's a possibility. That's not a fact. Yeah, I played the lotto yesterday. I could win it. You know what I'm saying? All facts. Is that fact or is that fucking a possibility based on the fact that I played the lotto? And that's my whole point. So when someone who's an Errol Spence fan wants to debate those actual facts, then we can sit down and chop it up. Until then, my whole thing is, you know what, really just shut the fuck up, because you want to call me a Bud Dick rider, but I'm just a fan of boxing. I know one day Bud will lose, and I know one day Spence will lose, and I know one day, right now, my number one guy, Jerome Boots Ennis, is going to lose, just like my number one guy got his ass beat, you know, by Tyson Fury in the third fight. Regardless of the long count, there was things defensively that you never ever were shown to keep that taller big man off of you, which is just a fucking forearm to the glove, or open your glove up and press your shit straight up and down up against this motherfucker's chin. Keep his head looking at the fucking ceiling. He can't punch down on you, Wilder. So I don't know why, you know, all his trainers who were short fight, or with the exception of Breland, who was a tall fighter, but, you know, some of his other trainers who were shorter fighters say, listen, when you're facing Fury, there's two things we got to look out for: that European style and keeping this big nigga from trying to clinch with you. We never worked on that. Doesn't matter all the improvements Wilder had, it was useless.
Salute Charles Pickney. Salute Tony I am Barnes. Salute to y'all, bro. Salute to D Young in the building, man.
But that's
hey, Boxer God, it's Cash. I got two things to say.
Okay, go ahead, Cash. I'm about the panel open, by the way. So anybody that, you know what I mean, if anybody, before you go, Cash, anybody want to rebuttal what Arlington said before I go to Cash real quick? Okay, go ahead, Cash. What you got? You there? Cash, you there? Yeah, there you go. You unmuted.
My bad. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, hold on. First of all, niggas gotta learn to land the plane a little sooner. That's number one. Niggas be talking for too damn long. You know. Number two, is that true that Spence started at 154 and went down to 147? I never knew that. Is that true?
Oh yeah, that's true.
He had, I mean, you can say it's true, bro. He had one fight at 154. His very first fight, he had like 1 or 2 fights at 154. Everything else,
fight in the Olympics at 154.
Okay, that's interesting because I never knew that. I'm not gonna lie. I thought he came in at welterweight. I thought he was always 147. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense now. The weight bully stigma definitely makes sense now. That's all I wanted. I learned something today.
Hey, Cash said nigga gotta land the plane sooner. You funny as hell, bro. All right, so I know Lightspeed, you and Knockout was having a convo. So if y'all want to go back to that, do you remember what you were saying,
Yes,
Knockout?
Yes, sir. I got my follow-up question. So I think the first question was,
hold on, Knockout. Knockout was still explaining something. Do you still remember what you were talking about, Knockout?
Okay.
Nah, bro. I think I pretty much finished up. He had asked me, you know, what I heard in terms of numbers from the people that say, you know, Bud is is overpricing itself. And then what I heard from numbers in terms of people that say the PBC is lowballing Bud. And to be real with it, from the Errol Spence side, you hear people saying shit like Bud asking for 20 million or 25 million or whatever the case may be. I even heard somebody talk about like some Mayweather money and shit. None of that shit being corroborated in terms of like a actual factual report. And then from the Bud side, you'll hear claims like, you know, Bud is being lowballed, but then you don't get any numbers at all from that side. So as far as the like, everybody can think what they want, but as far as like anyone being able to prove it, like neither side really got any solid information to say you can definitively say PBC is lowballing Bud or that Bud is asking for too much.
Okay. So
Go
then
ahead,
my
Mike.
follow up to that was, if you're saying narrative, right, like you just mentioned that you know, the idea that well, I'll just say this. The 60-30 argument, actually not, yeah, the 60-40 argument and 70-30 argument and all those kind of funny.
Salute Charles Picnic, salute Addison Pirates, salute some Shamika Jackson in the building, man. Salute to y'all. Go ahead, Lightspeed, my bad.
Yep, but for
Y'all
knockout,
hit this man like button
knockout, I would just say
Yeah.
those arguments, you know, could you say that those came from the Spence side?
Yeah, those are arguments that I regularly make. So yeah, for sure.
And could that also match up kind of conveniently with the Bud is overpricing himself?
Yeah, it could, but I don't know which one is true. That's why I say either or. For me, I can't, like, again, bro, I can't speak for nobody else. My beliefs, since you're talking to me, I think it's on Terence Crawford's side, the hold up. I don't know if it's the PBC fault. I don't know if it's Bud's fault. Either he asking for too much, or they ain't trying, or they lowballing him and they ain't trying to pay him. But as far as the 40 shit, yeah, bro, I stand on that. Like, I believe that shit wholeheartedly. As a matter of fact, I think that's generous as fuck.
No smoke where you have in your opinion. No smoke. But I would say on the opposite side, my opinion is probably like, for me, if PBC is the only source of where I hear 60-40 arguments, 70-30 arguments, and that's the only time I've heard that, and then the only argument that I've heard from Bud's side is they're lowballing us, then I might say those two stories on both sides match up to kind of lean. That's just my opinion. Lean towards that. If anything, Bud is being lowballed because it seems like both sides agree.
I got you, bro. And I ain't look. I ain't finna take over this King David shit. So I never try to take over his shit. But I would just say, bro, do you look at the actual like revenue that each fighter generates?
Hey, Knockout, you can cook here, bro. You at home, bro. Go on, cook like you need to. You ain't got to hold back.
I got you, yeah, bro. So I guess Lightspeed, what I'm saying, like I hear you, bro, and that shit, it sound reasonable in theory, but for me, bro, like when I want to fight, and I want this fight bad than a motherfucker, I want to be proven right. Or if a motherfucker prove me wrong, I ain't got no issue saying I was wrong about some shit. But for me, when I want to see something, I look at what I believe is holding it up, and then that's what I go after. And at the end of the day, the shit that's holding up this fight right now seem to be money. And so what I'm saying is, when you money, bro, like the 60-40 shit, the 70-30, the all that shit, bro, 60-40 or 55-45, like anything Bud can get that's more than 30%, bro, is really like generous as fuck, bro. And that's what the numbers say. So when you formulate your opinion, do you look at the numbers and shit?
Okay. I think what you hit me on is that it's just,
Hey, anybody, it's an open panel right now. So anybody want to interject, man, go on and interject, man.
So one thing I think what Knockout what you hit me on is that it's a matter of perspective. Because, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, because some people might see 70-30 for Bud and say that that's lowballing. But then I never considered that, somebody might see it the other way, like, that's a good offer. So there we go.
Hold on real quick, y'all. Hey, Kush the Great, the panel's kind of full right now at the moment. If anybody want to drop off, they're not talking at the moment. Somebody do want to get on, so, up to y'all right now.
Hey, King, I'm getting ready to, in probably about like 5 or so minutes, I'm getting ready to go play some basketball, so I could drop out.
You ain't playing no basketball. Stop it, bro.
You can't hoop, nigga.
I I gotta keep these knees greased up, man. I ain't young no more. You know what I'm saying?
But check this out. Check this out, Lightspeed. Just to cause bro, again, these is all facts. This ain't my opinion. Anybody on the panel, anybody in the chat can go look this up. So, for instance, Lightspeed, when you really break the shit down, I want people to understand this. Like, Errol Spence did $26,996,000 in one pay-per-view with Mikey Garcia. One pay-per-view generated $26,996,000. Bud's entire pay-per-view career, if you add all that shit up, generated $23,546,000 in one.
Okay.
Okay.
So Knockout, let me just ask you this question. Let me ask you this question. What was Bivol's pay-per-view numbers opposed to Canelo Alvarez pay-per-view numbers by the time they stepped in the ring? And how did that affect Bivol's performance versus Canelo's performance?
Bivol had never been on pay-per-view, right? Okay. He had never been on pay-per-view before.
All right.
But in terms
it would be zero versus the number one guy who has excellent numbers.
You talking about something different. You want to talk about who?
No, I'm talking about the same thing. I'm just trying to establish. I'm trying to establish something.
I got you. You asked me a question about pay-per-view numbers, but then you went to performance inside the ring. That's too
because that matters. No, it doesn't. It matters because when a person tries to make the claim of A side, B side, and who deserves what and what and all of that other bullshit, all of that shit started from Mayweather versus De La Hoya. Now, I'm not going to go into the history of that because we already know that. So I'm going to try to land this plane fast. What I'm saying is the pay-per-view numbers and what you offer a fighter to say whatever. You said, Errol Spence, said it's fucking strap season. So if you got the last strap, I want that motherfucking belt. So if I got to offer your fucking punk ass to beat the shit out of you and prove I'm the number one undisputed, I'll give your bitch ass 50%. And that means you take that shit home, you and your girl have a red panty night, buy some fucking champagne, and enjoy that fucking 50% because you ain't never ever gonna get that shit again in your life. That's what you call being generous. Offering a motherfucker 40% off of the hugest fight in boxing, motherfucker, you lowballing me. You not respecting the fact that I'm a fucking 3-division champ. You not respecting the fact that this is my second time in a second division fighting for undisputed. What the fuck you offering me 40% for, pussy? Offer me some real shit. Make this fight happen. It take two of us to get in that fucking ring. So show me you really want to do it.
So
that's me.
I fuck with everything you just said. Whoever that was, I fuck with everything you just said.
That was solid.
Show you that I want that I really want the fight by giving you a 50-50 split when
exactly because you gave that shit to Ugas. Exactly because you gave that shit to punk ass Ugas.
That's a lie, bro. He did not. Now I've already. I don't even want to go through it. That shit been done.
Okay, all right. I'll take it back.
He didn't give Ugas 50-50 nothing, bro. And I'm not. And again, bro, like I don't know how close you follow it. I would just say go look at the articles on the Ugas and Spence shit, and you'll see that all that shit is buffoonery, bro. It's buffoonery.
Hey, hold on, real quick. Hey, yo, Terrence. Okay, hey, bro, the panel full at the moment, fam. But you know, I got 6 spots right now. I got a few people that may leave in a little bit, bro. If you want to hold it down backstage, you can. But at the moment, we full, fam. Go ahead, y'all.
Okay, Boxing Doc.
What I want to respond to, because you made some good points. Like, bro, Bud Crawford, 3-division champion, bro. That's great, bro. Undisputed at 140. That's great. But y'all keep making these points to me like Bud didn't run around this bitch and say he won't be undisputed too. Matter of fact, that motherfucker said not only do he want to be undisputed, once he beat Errol Spence ass, he said he want to move up and beat Jermell Charlo ass. So don't Bud want some shit too, right? That's what he said.
Exactly. So, yes.
Okay, hold up. If Bud wants some shit too, and you looking at the situation, and you got a man, bro, I done did all the math. You literally got a man that done outsold you by $61 million, bro. $61 million. And you mean to tell me that we gonna tell the nigga that outsold the other nigga by $61 million? We telling him if he really want to fight, he should get that nigga 50-50 instead of telling the nigga
you trying to do what I did already. You fighting a nigga that's doing what I did already. I did that already. I know the pressure.
I didn't cut you off. I didn't cut you off, bro. I didn't cut you off.
Go ahead. My bad.
When I be quiet, when you start talking, I ain't gonna say shit.
My bad. I'm sorry, bro. Go ahead.
So instead of putting pressure on a nigga who's getting outsold by $61 million, to be like, look, bro, look, 40%, that's still more than the number say you get. 40% is still your highest payday ever. This nigga did outsell you. This nigga do got 3 belts. So shit, if you really want undisputed in the second weight class, be the first man to ever do that shit in the 4-belt era. The only other person to do that shit is Clarissa Shields. If you want that shit, like you saying you want, shouldn't we put pressure on the nigga that's getting outsold by $61 million?
My
outsold
point is this: the pressure should be on both. It ain't on one or the other. It should be on both equally. You said you want undisputed. You said you want undisputed. You feel me? If it's what you two motherfuckers really want in your heart and your soul, then at the end of the day, y'all gonna make the deal. Not everybody's gonna walk away happy, but a 50-50 split. You get 25 million, I get 25 million. Okay, I'll pull back on some of this pay-per-view shit because this nigga is right now in this fight, he king on that. So all I'm saying is pay me my 25 million up front. That ain't asking for too much. That ain't pricing myself out. Look at what the fuck I'm bringing to the table. Much more than any other motherfucker Errol Spence ever faced. That's why this fight is what it is. That's why this fight is what it is.
Salute to my guy Poindexter. Salute to my guy Poindexter in the building. Salute to Juice Lee. Salute to Boxing Vibes in the building. Salute to you, fam. Yeah, go ahead, man.
I'm being called a liar right now. Can I?
No, I'm not. I'm not calling you a liar.
No, not by you.
Let him finish knockout, then you can respond to him.
Okay, go ahead, Tony. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I'm done. I said what I said. Okay. I think it's I think it's 50-50. The pressure should be on both of them because both of you really want this. So at the end of the day, all of this, who gonna walk out? Put your fucking egos aside, both of y'all, and just make this shit happen. Ray Leonard versus fucking, any of the greats that he fought, Hagler, fucking, Duran, Hearns. It was none of this dumb shit. A side, B side.
Because they accepted who Ray Leonard was, bro. But that's cool. Look, we both want to fight. At the end of the day, if they get 50-50, I don't give a damn. I'm just telling y'all, based on the numbers, that ain't what it should be. But real quick, to the brother that King Davis alluded, Poindexter Lundy, that said, I got these numbers from out my ass and I'm making shit up. Look, bro, just real quick for everyone. Like, you can do the math yourself and you can Google it yourself, bro. I don't make shit up. You can disagree with me all day. I don't make shit up. But Amir Khan and Crawford, 150,000 pay-per-views times $70. That's $10,498,000. Versus Porter, he did 135. That was $70. That's $9,448,000. Versus Postal, he did 60,000 buys for $59.99. You multiply that, that's $3,599,000. You add all that shit up, that's $23,546,000. You go to Spence versus Mikey Garcia, 360,000 pay-per-views at $74.99 a pop. That's $26,996,400. You go to the Sean Porter shit, 300,000 pay-per-views, $69.99, $20,997,000. Danny Garcia, 250,000 pay-per-view buys at $74.99. That's $18,747,000. Then you got Ugas with 240,000 pay-per-view buys at $74.99. That's $17,997,000. That puts Spence at $84,738,000. You take $84,738,000, you subtract it from $23,546,000, you get $61 million, bro. So you can disagree with me all you want, Poindexter Lundy, no problem. What you're not gonna do is say I'm lying. And I see you saying now that you don't give a damn about the numbers. That's cool. Don't give a damn about them. But you can't call me a liar, bro. That's one thing I don't do.
Hey, I got one thing. Those numbers, hey, this is cash. Those numbers are cool, but you got to give Danny Garcia, Mikey Garcia, and Sean Porter credit for those numbers also. Those are also popular fighters. They're way more popular than the fighters that Terence Crawford fought. So that's why those numbers are bigger. You can't act like it's Errol Spence. That's bullshit.
All right, so I feel you, Cash. I ain't mad at you. So, what other pay-per-views have Mikey Garcia, Sean Porter, and Danny Garcia done besides Errol Spence?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. But I'm.
The answer,
Hold on.
the
Was
answer,
that?
the answer is Porter only did one with Terence Crawford, and it sold 135,000. So why would we give those fighters credit when only one of them did a pay-per-view outside of Errol Spence? He's the one that's the common denominator. He's fighting on pay-per-view no matter which one of them that he's fighting. And a lot of those guys that you named, Mikey Garcia, Danny Garcia, never been on pay-per-view. Ugas was on pay-per-view, but that was because of Manny, and he was a replacement opponent. So how can we give those fighters any credit when it comes to Errol Spence? How is that possible? He's the common denominator. That would be my response to that, bro.
All right, let me let my guy Kush the Great, man. He pulled up recently on the panel, man. Let me let my guy to make his opening soliloquy. Go ahead, bro. It's on you, Kush the Great. Welcome to the panel, bro.
What's good with y'all? I've been listening for a minute. I'm not really here to debate no points with nobody or change nobody's opinion. I'm just here to say facts, and that's it. As far as Terence Crawford and Errol Spence and their negotiations and all the riffraff going on right now, I agree with Knockout Boxing that the fight is done. That's what I believe. And I believe that all this fuss actually came from Errol Spence's side, and that's why I would point the blame at him. And I know this was what we were talking about earlier, but I've been waiting to say it. Errol Spence, I would point the blame at him. I'm talking about in the mix of all these rumors and shit being out here. That's what I'm referring to. He started this shit. He should have kept this out of the media. He wanted to go out in the media and say sign the contract on Instagram and that, oh, his side of the fight, his terms agreed upon, all this shit. He should have kept that out the media, and we wouldn't have all this shit, all this stuff going on the internet right now. I believe the fight's done. That's my thought I've been holding for a minute. Okay. As far as the money side, I do believe and agree with Knockout Boxing that if the fight should be 60-40, but it's not. It's not, because even Steven Espinosa in his most recent interview came out and said that he believed that the fight would be close to 50-50, if not 50-50. You see what I'm saying? Because of Bud's accolades and accomplishments that he's been able to obtain in the ring. So regardless of what you guys try to knock down about the accomplishments of Bud Crawford, the shit is still going to come into play in these negotiations. That's all I had to say. Go ahead.
Okay. Salute to my guy C's in the building. Salute to Mr. Quick, Kevin Carey in the building. Salute to y'all. Salute to my guy IC in the building. You know what I mean? Lightspeed, I see you in the chat, bro. Appreciate you, fam. Knockout, you want to respond to that? Anybody want to respond to what my guy Kush the Great said?
I don't want to seem like I'm responding to everybody, so I want to let somebody else talk, bro. Unless nobody want to talk.
Okay, Bo, what you think, bro? I ain't hear from you in a little while. What's going on, fam? What's on your mind over there?
Let me get right back to you. I gotta make this turn match with the driver right now.
Okay. All right. How about you, Cash?
I can go ahead and respond to it then, bro. Listen, what Kush said, man, I agree with 99.9% of it. The only part that he threw a little extra sauce on, just a little extra sauce, Kush. But when you said that Steven Espinosa said because of Bud Crawford's resume and because he did this and did this, that's why it's close to a 50-50 fight. He ain't say all that. He did say it's close to a 50-50 fight, though. And again, I'm just talking about what it should be. But if it's 50-50 shit, let them get it on, let it happen. But to me,
he said actually knockout. He actually said if it's not 50-50,
it's pretty close to it.
It's pretty
but
close.
He didn't put all that. He didn't put all that. It's close to Terence Crawford's accomplishment.
So what part did I add? Knockout for real, bro.
That part right there at the end when you.
So he didn't say that, bro. I'm for real.
No, he didn't say shit about his accomplishments and shit. I don't believe.
Right.
Did he?
He did. He actually
said because what Terence Crawford brings to the table. That was the exact.
Oh, okay. All right.
He mentioned the accomplishments. He did.
No. I take that back. You 100% right then. Forget 99.9%. I agree with 100% of what you said. But I believe Earl just won't beat his ass so bad, so he willing to give him whatever he asked for. He really trying to make that fight. So that whole duck narrative, anybody that's willing to give you more money to whoop your ass, is a dangerous motherfucker. Man, I ain't saying he right.
I'll share with y'all what I believe, and this
Hold
is
on,
my theory.
I'm gonna go around. I'm gonna go around the
Go
panel.
ahead, go ahead.
I'm gonna
I'll go after. Go ahead. My bad.
Yeah, I'm gonna go around the panel because what it has to really do with the poll that I put up here. So I want to ask each one of y'all what y'all voted for on the poll. You know what I mean? So in case y'all wondering what's on the poll, let me just read it for you. The question is, what do you think the problem is when it comes to getting Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence done? Right now, I got 75% of everybody that say Bud being lowball. I got 15% of everybody say Bud asking for too much money. I got 8% of everybody saying Earl asking for too much money. And I got 1% of y'all that's saying Earl being lowball. So I'm gonna go around the panel and I'm gonna start with you, Kush the Great. What did you vote for on that poll? Which one do you agree with on most of the lines, most with what you think?
I believe that Bud is being lowballed, but can I get my reasoning?
Oh yeah, give me reasoning.
My reasoning that I feel like Bud is being lowballed is because he should not get 50-50 on the pay-per-view split, because I believe that Bud Crawford, and y'all can rebuttal this however y'all want, I believe that Bud Crawford is gonna get a higher guarantee in this fight. So the holdup is like, hold on, we can't give you a higher guarantee than Spence because you're accustomed to getting that. We already gave you up all these this, that, and you want something else, and you still want 50, and that's what the holdup is, because I believe that Bud this is my theory, he'll get a higher guarantee than Errol Spence. Okay. What's the highest guarantee that Errol Spence has ever gotten? Knockout?
I think like 2.5, something like
guarantee.
that.
I'm talking about upfront before pay-per-view.
Yeah, guarantee like
it ain't never been high, bro.
It's like three between 3 and 5, right?
That shit ain't never been 6. Shit, I don't even know if it's
It's only been
I don't think it's been higher than 3. I think it's been.
I go by what the fighters say, and I heard Sean Porter say this. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I heard Sean Porter say this on the Porterway podcast. You never go backwards when you keep winning with the money. You never take less. No, you always gonna ask for more. You see what I'm saying? Crawford, he ain't gonna get no less than 6, guaranteed. I don't see that. Errol Spence, he won't get too much less either. I believe that it's gonna be like 60-40 and on the back end, and Errol Spence get less up front, like maybe 8 to Bud's 10. That's what I think is happening.
Okay, let me go to Bold and Understanding, man. What did you vote for on the poll, fam? What was your vote?
I mean, I put Crawford being low ball, but my real thing, I don't know if that's the reasoning, because I don't know what's even being negotiated. I think it has more to do with, like, kind of what Bernie said. It's just kind of like strategically trying to break this dude down. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the finances about. I don't know what the negotiations about. I just think, me personally, I think it has more to do with, oh, well, this man been, he looked like he was a killer for so long. Now, he's getting older and older. He might be he might not be that same guy he once was. That's how I look at it.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, I just think that we can only go off what is being said. And what Bernie said is that they don't want to give Bud a 50-50 split. But this is after Bud and EJ already agreed to terms, supposedly. You see what I'm saying? So now it's a new holdup. Bud, really, I'm being real with y'all, and I'm a Bud fan. I'm a Bud fan first before EJ, because I'm a fan of both. Bud don't deserve 50-50. He deserved like 40, 45 if they both make a sacrifice. That's the truth.
Hey, let me just rebuttal that for a second.
Go ahead, Bo.
What if somebody come to you at your job and tell you what you don't deserve? You know what I'm saying? Somebody ain't even got nothing to do with the job that you do. I mean,
it's not about what he deserved, bro. It's about the numbers and how this pay-per-view shit works. Especially if Bud gonna get a higher guarantee.
I know Knockout smiling over there. I know Knockout smiling.
Yeah, because Knockout know I know what I'm talking about.
I'm about to blow it up.
Hey, King David, I'm just laughing, bro, because like it's funny when I hear that, because niggas tell people in boxing all the time, you gonna get your ass. People talk about people's job all the time, like, hey, you gonna get your ass whipped. Terence Crawford gonna knock your ass out, or Errol Spence gonna knock Ugas out, or Ugas gonna beat Errol Spence.
Right.
Like, niggas tell people what's gonna happen on their job all the time, bro. Especially when you a famous athlete that's in the public that's making millions, people gonna critique your shit. Like
And
that shit
before
just,
y'all jump
you
on
know,
me,
it's fun.
remember that I said when I came on that it's still not going to be that. Bud is still going to get more than 60-40. And I know that. You feel me? Because I believe that Bud won these negotiations.
All I'm saying is this, man. I'm not going. Me as a I'm not going to be telling somebody who makes millions and millions of dollars how much I think they deserve to make. You know what I'm saying? Like, do I think the fight is 50-50? Yeah, but if they want to negotiate each and every way, yeah. But I'm not going to tell.
Bro, I'm up here trying to explain to y'all that Bud is winning because Bud is getting more than 40% and he's going to get the higher guarantee from what I believe. That's what I'm saying. So don't jump on me. That's all I'm saying. Bud is winning these negotiations from what I see.
So let me just give my take. I voted for Bud being lowballed. The reason why I feel he's being lowballed, it doesn't have anything to do with what Bud really wants. Like, I agree with the panel so far that the fight was done and it was said. Both guys did whatever. But then it came down to the intricacies. Bud fights for ESPN. Basically, all of Crawford's fights are in conjunction with Showtime. So here's my issue. My issue is this. I think the fight is being held up because, yes, the pay-per-view numbers, Bud is willing to take a back seat on that, but where the brother was talking about Bud was going to make up on that on the back end was if the fight is going to be in conjunction with Showtime and ESPN, both of those companies are probably in some sort of dispute on who's going to come up with what money to pay Bud his upfront money, because he's going to get a much lower percentage on the pay-per-view numbers. You feel what I'm saying? So it's a matter of Showtime versus ESPN, not Errol Spence versus Bud Crawford. You're talking about the disputes that the two networks are probably having over money. And one network represents Bud, one network represents Spence. So Showtime is willing to put up the money for their fighter and make sure he's good and everything else, but they're expecting the same from ESPN. I don't know how that works when Bud has, guess what, the kick in the door, the lawsuit against basically ESPN and Bob. So whatever that little thing is where ESPN might be trying to fuck Bud Crawford over in money that he could or should be making in this fight, that could be the issue where Bud is now saying, whoa, who's doing this shit to me? You feel what I'm saying? To me, that makes the most sense. To say it's Bud wants money and this and that. If everything is said and done, he already agreed to it. You know, I don't know if that's really 100% viable, but it makes more sense to me looking at PBC and Showtime and ESPN and what they do over there. So I personally think it's a matter between these two companies, having this dispute, and all the leaks and everything are just a lot of speculation from, fans and, fanboys and all the other shit, because everybody needs the villain. But maybe the villain is right in front of all our faces in the two companies. Because just like they Showtime put on for free the Charlo undisputed fight, they could do the same for this fight just to make it happen. But they're choosing not to. Why? Why? ESPN could do the same thing, but they're choosing not to. Why? They did it for Crawford in the past. They did his unification fight. His undisputed fight on ESPN. That wasn't a pay-per-view. That was a free fight. I watched that. So I'm just asking. Both did it. What's the issue?
Salute Super Jamui in the building. Salute to you, man. Anybody want to rebuttal what my guy Michael had to say before I go ahead and I bring in my two new guests that just came through? Nah, okay. All right, let me bring in my first guest, man. My guy Terence, man. First time on the panel. Salute to you, fam. Welcome to the panel. What's on your mind? You there, Terence?
Comments will be directed towards knockout. I guess his basis and a lot of Errol Spence fans' basis for the argument is numbers. So I'm asking him, how do we know exactly what the pay-per-view numbers were?
Hey, do y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. So I wanted to know, how do you know exactly what the pay-per-view numbers was? There was an article. It was I think Blue Blood just reported that I think what's his name, Javante, that Oscar Sten, he didn't do over 100,000 pay-per-views. So if you're basing your whole argument, what happened?
Yeah, you can't use Blue Blood as a source.
Blue Bloods is terrible, bro. I mean, seriously, he's terrible.
Only when it comes down to Wilder. Only when it comes down to Wilder, Blue is official.
Listen. I only say that because y'all know Blue Blood is always going against. He's the main one saying that Terence Crawford numbers is the reason why he should get the 60-40, just like Knockout. So I'm asking Knockout, how do we know what the numbers were? How do we know that the numbers are what they reported? Because everybody has different numbers. That's been my main argument. If Knockout could prove to me that the numbers were accurate, and I think he went through a whole list of figures, if those were accurate, yes, I would agree with him, 60-40. But how does he prove that? Has PBC ever proved it? We know that.
We know they lie about
what we know. But let me just finish this. What we know is that public entities have to report real numbers. So Showtime, they're publicly traded, I believe. They could come out and as a company say, okay, this is what Errol Spence did. If they did that,
he got cut out.
Yeah, he dropped off.
And you dropped out, huh? Okay. All right. He made a very good point, though, just to kind of piggyback on what he said. I don't agree that it would be 60-40 if he can prove the numbers to be true. I don't agree about that at all. But I will say that it's a known fact that PBC has been known to fabricate their numbers in the past. You know what I mean? It's been known that the sources they give for numbers, a lot of times that they do be lying. They be putting extras on these numbers. So a lot of these dudes who are quote unquote pay-per-view stars, it's been kind of discovered that these numbers ain't accurate. So I do agree with him there as far as like bringing the credibility of the numbers into question. You know what I'm saying? I use the numbers because it's easier to do it that way instead of just pointing the finger at the validity of the numbers. For me, because there is some sources that report numbers, I just use the numbers. Like I feel like it creates a better argument when I use the numbers they have in front of them rather than just pointing to question the validity of the numbers. But I see where my guy was coming from, and just to make a quick argument before I let my guy Aunt Mo get on here cook, but just to kind of refresh an argument that I brought up before about the numbers. A lot of Spence fans like to bring up numbers this, numbers that. These be on a calculator, adding and subtracting and doing division and square root and everything and coming up with these numbers. But at the end of the day, and they always bring this up when it comes to business, but the important facet of businesses that these dudes never bring up is the leverage part. They never bring that part up. They never bring up the part that Errol Spence needs Bud Crawford in order for this big fight to happen. Therefore, just based on that fact, he's entitled to a much grander share of the pay-per-view buys than the numbers will justify based on that logic. So in my mind, just a lot of these dudes, their understanding of business is just flawed because they're bringing up numbers, but business isn't just about numbers. It's about leverage. You know what I'm saying? It's about if I got 3 belts and I need a 4th in order for me to be crowned undisputed, then I'm lacking in the leverage department. I still need that other belt in order to corner the market. And I got to do whatever I need to do in order to get that 4th belt. And these dudes don't understand that. You know what I mean? And then another thing I want to bring up that I had also mentioned earlier is Danny Garcia got a 60-40 split. Sean Porter got a 60-40 split. Danny Garcia had never been on pay-per-view prior to Errol Spence. So there's no track record of pay-per-view. If you want to bring up pay-per-view buys, right? Bud Crawford has a much better history on pay-per-view than a Danny Garcia who got a 60-40 split. Terence Crawford actually has a belt, right? Danny Garcia didn't have a belt and he got a 60-40 split. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's these different things. You basically, when you're saying Bud should take a 60-40 split, essentially you're saying you're putting him in the same category as a Danny Garcia. And that's where that category, that's where that argument just falls all the way apart as far as a 60-40, that Bud should take the 60-40, 70-30, or whatever it is. You know what I mean? It don't make sense. You can't give Danny Garcia, a guy with 2 losses, no belt, no history of pay-per-view, 60-40, and then expect Bud Crawford, a 3-time world champion, undisputed in 1 division, and holding one of the 4 belts that you need in order to become undisputed. You can't say that he's supposed to take the same deal that Danny Garcia took. That don't make no damn sense.
Hey, can I add something else?
Go ahead, Bo.
Here's even a better point. You can't allow Mikey Garcia to get a 50-50 split when this dude is, in my Ronnie Coleman voice, lightweight, coming up to welterweight and whatnot. Right. They get a 50-50 split, and he ain't had a belt. He ain't even had 1 fight at welterweight. His fight at welterweight was against Errol Spence, and this dude got a 50-50 split.
They like to say Earl did all the heavy lifting. Well, Mikey did no heavy lift. He did no lifting at all. You know what I'm saying? No track record at welterweight, but he managed to get a 50-50 split. You know what I'm saying? And the negotiations seem to be rather seamless. You know what I mean? Much easier than this seems to be between Errol Spence and Terence Crawford right now. So, you know, I just want to make those points, and then I'm going to let my guy Aunt Mo go ahead and cook, man. What's going on with your Aunt Mo? Salute to you, fam. Thanks for pulling up. What you got on your mind, fam?
For sure. So look, man, I voted and I put that Errol Spence is being lowball. And I say
explain that.
yeah, and I say that in part. I say that in part because he's the greatest thing we've ever seen. He's Marvin Hagler reborn.
What?
You know what I'm saying? Like
this nigga trolling.
This guy is gonna go on to take down all those guys, and he'll beat Boots. That's the cachet. That's the cachet.
Wow, bro,
he
ducking Boots, man. He said the same fact shit Thurman said to him. Get a belt. That's a duck move when Boots called his punk ass out, man. Come on, bro. Yes, I agree with you 100% that Spence is a reborn Marvin Hagler. You feel what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, styles make fights, and a boxer will always beat the puncher.
Hold on, hey, and I agree with you, fam. But let my guy complete his opening.
Go ahead,
man. Go ahead, fam. Go ahead.
I'm clearly trolling, but that's what y'all sound like. That's what y'all sound like every day. Every time I listen to y'all talk about Terence Bud Crawford, bro, it just becomes mind numbing at some point. Like, I think the greatest thing that my dude said, I don't think he on here no more. He was the one at the bottom with the very shadowy room. But he said, I don't know, but he said that it's a 50-50. It should be 50-50, bro. And I think that's the greatest argument to be made on this show. They are both going to carry the burden. And if the fight doesn't happen, it's going to be the fault of the promoters and the promoters alone. Let's just be honest. These guys are grown men, bro. Nobody
Yeah,
ain't really
that's what I was
ducking
saying
nobody.
earlier.
You don't want to lose, of course. Errol don't want to lose, but Terrence don't want to lose either. Even though he has a Hall of Fame, pedigree already, but nobody wants to lose. But if they don't make this fight, it's not gonna be because Errol said I'm gonna lowball him until he says he doesn't want to fight no more. That's not the case. What I've never understood either is if that's the case, if what he's saying is the case, why won't you go ahead and go up to 154? Prove that Errol should be backed into a corner or is the one that's backed into a corner and got to make something shake by just going on with your business. Go ahead and go up there and fight whoever you need to fight, Danny Garcia or the Charlo, whoever, and then that'll put the pressure on Errol if that's what the case is. But I don't think that's the case. I really believe that this is a 50-50 fight.
Yo, the only problem
And I'll say this. Hold on. I'm sorry. Let me say this too. When we talk about people spitting facts or people making great points, it's all relative to whoever the people are a fan of who's making the point. Because this is my thing with knockout boxing. Why do we gotta bring everything into question that he says? Oh, well, we know PBC does this and Showtime gotta do this. It's like, fam, I heard so many niggas on here make stupid arguments for Bud Crawford, and it's like niggas just applaud it because they talking about Bud Crawford. That's it. It ain't like like niggas talking about facts a lot of the times. It's not based off of a nigga really listening objectively to say, okay, I can see where you're going with that. I don't never hear niggas say that. I hear niggas just ready to argue about what a point that a nigga made because you preferential to Bud. That's all I'm saying.
I didn't hear that, bro.
I'm saying I heard the show like 2 or 3 times.
Because that's not me.
Why I say that.
Oh, I'm new to the
I'm
channel.
not saying that was you either. I'm not saying it was you either.
Okay.
Speaking in general.
Okay.
All right, hold
Yeah,
on real quick. Hold on real quick. Ammo, you let me know when you're done with your opening soliloquy so we can open the panel back up.
Go ahead, dog. I'm done.
We good?
Hey,
Okay.
hey, I just want to say this real quick, man. The only problem when you said Bud should go to 54 and fight those guys, he's going to run into the same problem. It's the PBC. You know what I'm saying? That's what it comes down to. They're going to be like cross the street and all that other stuff. It's going to be the same thing he's dealing with now. That's the only issue with it.
You know, here's the reason why I don't agree with that, right? Because when people say that,
you ain't gonna agree with it.
Yeah, but Bo, usually me and Bo agree. But the reason I don't agree with that is because they were able to get the Sean Porter fight done. You know, with PBC.
No, they got the Sean Porter fight done because of one reason. It was mandatory. That's the only reason why it got done. Remember, Sean Porter wanted to fight, but what he said, I got people I got to answer to, and that's why he didn't, activate his mandatory at the time. It had to come down to the WBO forcing the mandatory just for that fight to happen.
I don't think the WBO is the reason the fight happened at all. Actually, I think they're probably a small part of it, but I don't think they're the reason. And the reason why I say that is because the WBO, like the reason Sean didn't activate that mandatory to begin with was because the mandatory split with the WBO. I forget what the percentage is. It's like
75-25.
75-25, yeah. And Sean remember because Bob Arum offered Keith Thurman and Sean Porter money, right? And then he offered Sean Porter $1 million. Sean Porter was disrespected, appalled, flabbergasted at the low number, right? Because it didn't work. So it really was about money for Sean Porter, and we see why. Because at the end of the day, and I got videos about this. I believe Sean Porter was cashing the fuck out really when he got up out of there. So for Sean Porter, in my opinion, it was really all about money. Like as far as the WBO was concerned, that's not how the deal got done. The deal got done because, in my eyes, Bob Arum is the one who decided at the end of the day, look, man, I'm just gonna put up the money, probably take a loss, but I'm gonna put up the money to make sure the fight get done.
I think the reason why I think he put that money up was because at the time there was a lot of questionable shit that was going on about Spence. Is Spence really that guy? There were a lot of channels saying, yeah, Spence needs to fight a Sean Porter to show everybody that he's really that guy. He could face a tough fighter that comes forward, throws a lot of punches, that may hit you with an elbow and shit like that. So if I was fucking with LDBC at the time this fight was happening, and I was looking at it from the perspective of the LDBC, And according to the LDBC, who are the hugest supporters of Errol Spence, that fight needed to happen to justify Spence as the guy at 146. They was having him on doing lives. They were talking to Al and all of this other kind of stuff at press interviews, and they kept on saying, "Listen, you think he should fight? Do you think Spence should fight like a Sean Porter instead of a Keith Thurman to really justify and solidify that he's the toughest guy and the best guy at 146?" Al Heyman was, "Yeah, I do agree, but we just got to make that fight happen." Fast forward, you backed into a corner because everybody says if you fight anyone else, you're ducking Sean Porter. Sean Porter, dad, is the businessman. Sean Porter's dad looked at that and said, "Listen, son, you gonna cash out on this shit right here because this motherfucker needs you."
Right. Yep.
Yeah, but you know what's so funny when it comes to money, right? And how people always say Errol Spence deserved more. You know what's so strange is how is it that the fighters Errol Spence fight?
Salute to my guy M in the building. Salute to you, fam. Salute to my guy Steele in the building. Salute to you. Go ahead, Bo.
Yeah. How's it that the guys Errol Spence fight, him and that guy, they guarantees the lowest shit. But when some of these guys fight Crawford, they get their highest paydays, or they want their highest paydays. Like when it's come to Keith Thurman, I want $10 million to fight Bud Crawford. Like you know, but this dude didn't even make $10 million versus Manny Pacquiao, but he won $10 million versus Bud Crawford.
It's a duck move, and they know Bud is gonna retire their ass permanently.
So that's why, you know, when I hear people be like, "Yo, like Bud shouldn't get the lion's share, whatever, or it shouldn't be 50-50," I be sitting up here, I'm like, "Yo, Bud is the one. If anything, Bud is that cash cow at welterweight. If we want to be, you know, perfectly honest, I mean, it ain't much, but he is the guy at welterweight getting the highest guarantees out of all of them."
Anybody want to rebuttal that? And Mo, I know you over there like shaking your head right now.
So can we just this is what I'm talking about here? Can we please just knock it off with this stuff, man? Man, okay, so where are the numbers? Like, okay, so they just asked King, whatever his name was, Kingdom Knockouts, whatever his name was, King Boxing, whatever, Knockout Boxing. Yeah, my bad, no disrespect, but they just asked, what are the proof in those numbers? Where are we getting these numbers from that says that Bud is this gigantic draw? Because that's cap. Listen, I've seen this nigga Bud fight for free on ESPN far more times than I care to count. He's not no cash cow, man, and that's just facts. Y'all can say that.
Who makes the most guarantee at welterweight?
Bro, I don't know.
Well, I mean, I tell you, Bud Crawford, and I ain't saying he's a cash cow. Like I said, it ain't much, but he is the highest paid welterweight, and this dude been in welterweight less than all these other dudes, and he's the highest paid one. So my thing is this: I don't like the argument when people say, "Yo, Bud shouldn't get 50-50. He should take 40%." I'm like, based on what? Because just because the PBC might have somebody that sell out an event doesn't mean that fighter is making that money like that.
Salute Quick in the building. Salute GK Black in the building. Salute to y'all, man. Go ahead, Bo.
Yeah, just because somebody sell out an event, that's like somebody when I hear somebody say, "Yo, Tank Davis is the cash cow." I'm like, Tank Davis ain't even getting paid like that. Devin Haney makes more money than Tank Davis, but Tank Davis is the cash cow because they promote him like that. See, that's what I'm talking about. It all comes down to business at the end of the day. Crawford makes more money than all them dudes at welterweight. He makes more money than all of them, and y'all expect this dude to take a pay cut because y'all said he don't deserve 50-50. That's why, I don't even like talk about the money like that. I just want to see the fight and whatnot. But we can't tell a man who makes more money than all of them that he needs to take a pay cut.
Y'all niggas wild in the chat, bro. Salute Modern King Boxing in the building. Say Joker's looking for a ninja swag over skills. Spence must be low-key twerker or something. Mr. Quick talking about Spence do a little twerk For sure. Y'all tripping out there, man. But go ahead. You want to respond to the ammo?
Nah, I think people who I think my biggest issue overall is not because I'm not one of those super Errol Spence fans. I'm just not. Like I've said before, I think that Terrence is better. I really do. But to assume, and that's just going off a skill set alone. We can look at quality of opponent and say what he's done to the equal, the same opponents and stuff like that. But I also just heard you say that it was a money grab. That you believe it was a money grab for Sean Porter in that fight. I would have been one to say I don't believe that was the best Sean Porter we could have seen. But I think his style lends to making it hard for any fighter that he goes against. That's just how he fights.
Okay,
You know
question
what I'm
for you.
saying?
Cool question for you, because
Yeah.
When you say you don't think he was the best Sean Porter, what's the reason for that?
I think it was more too because if you listen to him talk on his show before when he was talking about wanting to fight Spence, he was talking about he was done fighting before he fought Spence. And he said, I bump it. It's gonna be my last one. I just want to see what I got. Woo woo. Okay, what happened in that fight? There's clearly some stuff going on between them that seemed like a lot of hate from Sean, but that's neither here nor there. But then you do the same thing with Bud. You can't tell me that guy's locked in. You heard all of the stuff after the fact, and I know everybody's always gonna have excuses if they lose for what they didn't get to do in camp. But you hear all this stuff about how he didn't get this and how he didn't do that and how his body and this blah blah blah. It's just a bunch of stuff that lends to, and I only say that because I believe Sean is like he'll stand up dude when it comes to inside of that ring. He gonna call it like it is. But at the same time, I just don't believe that. And then you just abruptly leave boxing after that. I don't believe that was the best guy. We can't, because if you look at all his fights, they're similar. He do the same thing in every fight.
Well,
He gonna make it rough and rugged. I've never seen him just like outboxing class nobody. So there's not levels to what he does.
Well,
No, I watched early Sean Porter. Early Sean Porter was nasty.
I'm glad you said this though, Ammo, and you go ahead, Michael. I'm glad you said this. He was ready to go before he fought Earl. So I just don't like people say, Sean Porter, he wasn't the best Sean Porter, and then they want to give Earl all this credit for beating Sean Porter, but then take all the credit away for beating from Bud Crawford beating Sean Porter. And then they want to give that reason that Sean Porter was getting ready to retire. So I'm glad you said that, Ammo, because that's the truth. Sean Porter was getting ready to retire before he fought Errol Spence.
Yeah.
So it's the same Sean Porter. Maybe you could say he was a little bit diminished, but more or less we got the same Sean Porter in the ring for Errol Spence that we got for Terence Crawford. But the only difference was Errol Spence struggled in the ring with a Sean Porter, and Bud Crawford stopped him. But go ahead.
Well, and the difference, to be fair, is what makes and what also lends to Bud actually having a nod to actually win this fight is what Sean said. He said, Errol tried to beat me at what I do best. Bud knows better to do what he does best. That's the difference. He shouldn't like somebody said on here on the last show I was on. If you look at Sean and you look at Errol, they really are similar in a lot of the stuff that they do. Errol is a lot more polished and better footwork and things of that nature. But they both kind of fight in that, make you bag up, rugged type of style of fight anyway. So
you said Errol got better footwork than who?
He said Earl is more polished and got better footwork. I guess.
I got the polish part, but I'm saying the footwork. Then Sean Porter.
Salute to my guy Fresh Prez 402 in the building. Salute to my guy Robert Scott in the building. Salute to y'all, fam. Y'all go ahead.
I'm trying to figure out how Errol Spence got better foot than Sean Porter. When them two fought, you saw Sean Porter had the better footwork in that fight.
I agree with that. I don't think that Errol Spence has better footwork than Sean. No way.
All I'm saying is the best way to look at Sean Porter is to look at Sean Porter's early fights. Like, this dude was fast. He had great footwork. He came in kind of like that Mike Tyson style. And when he got in on the inside, if you missed and you were the taller fighter, he made you pay and pay badly. That's why Sean Porter was who he was. You know what I'm saying? This is why they were saying he reminisces of the old Philly style of or old Detroit or Philly, whatever it was, style of boxing, just rugged, come at you, a little bit of dirtiness, real gritty, just a hardcore dude. This is what made Sean Porter who he was. Now you have to think, when a fighter says, I'm going to retire, mentally, he's not there anymore. Physically, yes, he may have all the accolades and attributes still in that body. The muscle memory still is still there. You feel what I'm saying? To the point where if you saying that wasn't the best Sean Porter that was faced out there, there's two things of saying why that's possible. Number one, time. Number two, age. Nothing else.
I agree with Derek James.
That's the same thing.
The retirement.
I agree
the
with Derek
retirement
James.
aspect and the mindset is the icing on the cake. But once you step in that ring and the nigga punch you in the fucking face, muscle memory is going to take over. And that's what happened. That's why he gave Spence that hard ass fight. That's why many people, many fans of boxing say Porter won that fight. Other fans of boxing say Spence won that fight. But at the end of the day, they say it came down to that one knockdown, which was the deciding factor because the fight was that close.
So okay, so outside of what other people say, I'm asking you, you in your heart of hearts, you believe Porter won that fight?
Yes. The fight that I watched, and I watched that fight over and over again because I kept on saying, I don't know what fight people are seeing. I'm 54 years old. I've been watching boxing a very, very long time. You feel me? I fought in my PAL in Long Island. You know what I'm saying? The Westbury PAL boxing. I never went anywhere after that because I just did it as rec. You feel me? But after that, I'd love to watch boxing matches. If you want me to tell you one of my two greatest fighters, one of them is Alexis Arguello. That pity pat and then come at you with the hard, sneaky punch. I thought that shit was brilliant. The best footwork in boxing, I have to give it to the white boy, Willie Pep. That W style is hard to beat. You feel what I'm saying?
So I feel you, but I call cap on that. I'll say this. I think both Bud and Errol faced the same issue going into the 10th round.
I agree with that.
I think they didn't know if they were up or not. You know what I'm saying? And I think both of them made adjustments. And we can argue on if he finished and he went the rest of those rounds. It wasn't the same fight after that. Hold on. That's fine. I'm just talking about from what you saw with your eyes.
Yes.
So that's fine. But I'm saying, but the reality is you can't tell me that the fight looked the same as it did with Errol from the 10th round on as it looked 1 through 9. I personally was a little nervous. I felt like he was losing going into that round. I didn't think he was losing by a wide margin, but I did feel like he was losing.
And I think Errol Spence, correctly?
Yes, Errol Spence, and I think it had a lot to do with the approach that he took. I think it was a bad approach. You should have picked something else, bro. Like you don't gain anything in hindsight.
But the argument is Errol Spence makes adjustments.
I've been hearing he don't, but that's neither here nor there. But I'll say this. You playing it his way lended to you having the hearsay that people think you lost the fight. Now, I don't think he lost the fight. I think he did what he needed to do. I think he makes great adjustments, and I think that's what makes him dangerous in a fight against Terence. And to your point of what he did early and what that was reminiscent to, that ain't the nigga that neither one of them fought. So that doesn't even really matter. By the time that he got in the ring with both of them, he's pretty much just been a pretty good fighter. He's Hall of Famer, and me and Cash talk about this a lot. He's pretty much your gatekeeper, but he's smart enough not to get in there with a. But he's smart enough not to get in there with the world.
Title, he should have known he was a gatekeeper. He should have known because he's too short. He's too short.
Because
you're too short. You got two.
Well, I don't know if the height really matters, but
can I get in there? I joined the panel. I joined the panel with a question about the Sean Porter Crawford fight regarding that fight. How long are we
Yes, sir.
going to sit up here and ignore what we really saw in the ring? Sean Porter, yeah, he retired after that fight, but I don't think that was any different from the Sean Porter that we saw with Errol Spence. He retired because, like Derek James said, his dad threw in the towel, and you guys saw the man's reaction. You guys, 1 minute y'all want to say that he could have stood in there, he still could have fought. It was a close fight. Then the next minute y'all want to say, oh, okay, he was done, washed up. Which one is it?
No, that's actually what I said earlier. I said he was pretty much ready to retire before the Errol fight. So no, I'm with you on that. You're 100% correct. But I think the more time you get away, the older you're gonna get. It's obviously gonna take a bigger toll. So
I just feel like we were robbed of a moment that night. Terence Crawford was robbed of a defining moment. And that decision was made by Kenny Porter. And that's why I say I agree with Derek James. There was a rift between him and his father, and it came out in the lead up to the fight in the blood, sweat, and tears when he told Sean, if you don't do what you're supposed to be doing in there, it's not going to be my fault. He was letting him know, yeah, he was going to throw in the towel. His daddy's a sucker. And then he changed the painting because their allegiance is to the PBC. So that's why they're going to say these things. Sean Porter, I respect him a bit because he's become more objective in his ways of how he sees boxing and what he wants to broadcast to the world. He wants to be fair now. I'm just saying, to me, what I see over there is some bullshit. What they do, what they say, it's excuses. Them is excuses.
I don't think Terence was robbed of anything. The main thing that people use now is the fact that he stopped Terence. That he stopped Sean, and nobody has ever came close to doing it. So I don't.
They put an asterisk on it though, bro. They put an asterisk.
But
on
he dropped them twice.
But what was going to happen though? That's all I'm asking.
When did that happen? When did that happen? When did that ever happen in Porter's career? He was dropped twice, basically in the same round.
Salute to my guy Falcon Foot in the building, man. Salute.
I'm with you. My point
I actually disagree with the point that it's something amazing to drop Sean Porter. He's been dropped by Ugas. He's been dropped by Errol. He's been dropped by AB. He's been dropped.
Twice in the same
I'm just saying,
round.
Terence Crawford, he should have he was robbed of his moment the same way I feel like
I believe he was robbed of his moment because he could have knocked him out. He could have knocked him out.
Right.
Hey, he
right.
was definitely dropped by them dudes, but the only person he was ever truly hurt by
was Errol.
Was Terence Crawford. Really.
I agree with that.
That's what he said.
That ain't what he said.
That's what he said.
No, that's not what he said.
Well, when did he not say that? He said it. He said it in an interview when he was talking about both of them and their power. Who do you think hits harder?
What he said to be clear was that he was making more and more mistakes, and the punches were coming, and he wasn't doing the right things. That's essentially what he said on the Porterway podcast. The punches kept coming, and he couldn't get out of the way of them.
Yeah, so from what I saw, he said that he said matter of fact, what I saw him say on his show was that he was actually hurt. It was a difference. He was actually hurt by Errol. Like he said he was shocked by Terence, but he was hurt by Errol is what he said.
But he didn't get up like he was hurt. He didn't fight the minute he got up and got that standing eight.
I never heard him say that. I would like to see a link of that. Could you show me a link to that?
Point. Where? Who is this? I can, I guess.
You could post it in a private chat. I know it's on the Porterway. It don't even have to be now. Just next time we're on the panel. What's your name, bro? So I remember you.
Aunt Mo.
Yeah, bro. I would like to see that, bro.
My only problem with that is, why we always got to do this? This is what I'm talking about, though. Why we got to make it trivial? He didn't look like it. I'm just telling you what he said out of his own mouth. You see what I'm saying? It's like he said he was hurt by him. It's like, I don't believe that. He got up like it wasn't a problem. I'm like, to be honest with you, he didn't look like he was hurt by either one of them. Like, he looked like the whole pounding the floor and all that stuff. Like, that don't look like somebody who's like, oh, I don't know where I'm at. Oh, I really got dazed. That look like, man, I hate that this is happening in this moment. You know what I'm saying? So when he said that, that's why it surprised me, because I would like to think, okay, you get dropped in the same round twice. Like, clearly you were hurt. He didn't say that, though. I'm like, at least let's just take him at what he said. That's his word.
I'm not going to even disagree with that or argue that, because I know from what I can see that Errol Spence's power and Terence Crawford's power is different. It's different. But it's like Buzz said, you dropped him and I dropped him, then what does it matter?
Hey, hold on, y'all, real quick. Let me hold $1. Your name crazy hell. What you talking about? You said Bud don't want the fight, fam. How does Bud not want the fight when he's the dude that got the belt after Earl and Keith told him to get a belt? He's the dude that waited on the easy route to conclude after Earl decided he wanted to take the easy route. He's the dude that crossed the side of the street, fired his promoter, took a gamble, and went over to Earl's side of the street in order to make the fight happen. Bud Crawford has made all the sacrifices to get this fight done. Now tell me what Earl has done to make the fight happen. You telling me Bud don't want the fight? You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
but
hey,
I mean, but if you feeling brave, you can pull up, bro. I got that link on here for you.
Hey, you ain't slick. You ain't slick. I know what you did. That's one of your partners. That's one of your partners, and he gave you the little alley oop so you can go in that little soliloquy you went on. I know what y'all doing. I know what y'all doing.
He trying to drop a conspiracy in the chat. Wow. Conspiracy guy. Wow. Hey, you crazy, man. You crazy. Boy, what's wrong with you, boy? You got that conspiracy up in here, buddy.
Right. The only thing that Earl has changed from between now and that hallway is his energy and saying that he wants to fight, and then fucking admitting that his ass was fucking joking that entire time, talking 60, 40, 70, 30, 80, 20.
Yeah,
that's the only thing he's done. Bud has made all the sacrifices. Bud left guaranteed money over there on Top Rank. Bud's disgruntlement with Bob Arum is over Errol Spence. If it wasn't for Errol Spence, Terence Crawford would still be on Top Rank getting that guaranteed money.
Right?
The dispute is over the Pacquiao fight, really.
Took a pay cut. Then he pushed the
Now we're over here trying to figure out what the fuck fight he's gonna have. Who's he gonna fight? Before he could have fucking stayed over there and fought Josh Taylor.
Hey, Kush the Great. But
What's up, OG?
Bud over here making sacrifices and Earl over here joking. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Come on, bro.
He joking and he's still joking. And he's still joking. That's the truth.
Hey, could it be this? And mind you, my argument always was, and I know there's rebuttals for it. I get it, but that I do because I'm like, when Derek says it himself out of his mouth, plan was always this. What we're about to do right now, right? Two guys, because I think both of these guys.
Hey, you cutting out ammo.
There's more dog than both of these guys. Number one.
Oh, there you go.
My bad. I'm in traffic. It might be. I don't know. Can you hear me?
You was going in and out. You clear now.
You clear now.
Yo, I'm back. Y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you, Bo.
Yep.
Go ahead, Mo. You was making a point.
I'll wait. I'll wait and see if it get a little better. Hold on.
I heard what you was getting ready to say, fam, about Errol Spence. I think I know what you was getting ready to allude to. You was getting ready to say that Errol Spence and Derek James pointed out that they had a plan all along, and Terence Crawford wasn't initially in the plan, like Errol Spence said in the hallway, and he was just going through with the plan. Now, here's my question. In that hallway that night, when he crossed with Terence Crawford, that was before or after he fought Mikey Garcia? Y'all let me know right now.
I believe that was before. If you talk
that
about
was before he fought Mikey Garcia. It was a 50-50 fight. If not, Bud Crawford being the A side in that hallway that night. So y'all admitting to me when y'all say that type of thing, that there was a plan for Errol Spence to be able to do this type of thing that he's doing right now.
Salute to my guy Young Fortune in the building. Salute to you, fam. And salute to my guy Falcon Feet. Salute to you, fam. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead. My bad.
No, go. See, I was letting you get off, OG.
I look at it like this.
I'm just pointing out that Errol Spence, he was not a pay-per-view star in that hallway. He was just talking.
No, that's when Errol Spence had on the red sweatsuit and Bud had on the
Yes,
black,
sir.
and he was like, "You didn't." I called you, and then he was like, "Hey, you didn't call me. You ain't got my number. I don't got your number." And Bud started to go, took out his phone, and was starting to show that. Yeah, Bud right there, right then and that when they faced each other, that right there told me, Errol, you're gonna lose to Bud because Bud wasn't even a 146er at that time. He kept on telling him, "You too small. You got to come up and wait and get a belt first."
In that
If you
hallway,
look
Bud
at
had
that
already beat Jeff
yeah,
Horn, sir. Bud had already beat Jeff Horn in that hallway, sir.
that he did.
Yep.
Oh, I thought that fight wasn't happening yet. He was about to fight Jeff Horn, but he wasn't officially
He
moved
told
up
him, you
yet.
told me to get a belt. Now I got a belt now
Oh
to
yeah,
make it
yeah,
make
yeah, yeah.
sense.
You're right. My bad.
You see, I study this shit
You're
right
right.
here. You see what I'm saying? Bud already was a champion. Errol Spence hadn't fought Mikey yet. He hadn't even fought on pay-per-view yet. That's why the riff had already started. Oh, Bo Mac clowning talking about I get an allowance. Damn, that's fucked up. Because Bo Mac was telling the truth.
No, I may have conflated the interviews with another thing. I think both of them was at a fight, and Bud wasn't at 146 yet, and they was arguing and they was talking in the crowd. You feel what I'm
sorry
saying?
to say, or you know what? I'm here to let you know that Bud already had a belt in that hallway.
No, I'm not talking about that. I said I may have conflated two different situations to whereas the video I believe I'm talking about now that I'm refreshing my memory, because you're absolutely correct. I'm refreshing my memory. It was the fight after they were at a fight after Spence had got his first belt, and Bud was coming up, and Bud was saying, "I'm coming for you. You're gonna get this fight on. You're gonna do this and keep." And Spence kept on telling him, "You too small.
Right.
You're too
Because
small."
Spence had just beat Kell Brook.
Yeah, it was after that. It was sometime after that fight. They was watching somebody else's fight, and the two of them was sitting in the crowd, and then they walked in between the aisle, and it was much like the Ennis and what was that clown ass motherfucker's name? Blair Cobb. When Blair Cobb tried to press Duran, it was a situation similar to that, but it was a lot of people standing around, and it looked like they was one or two seats inside the aisle. You feel what I'm saying? And they both was talking, and that right there was the initial start from what I saw of the two of them saying, "Yeah, we need to fight. So let's make it happen. We need to fight."
So, and I'm back, fellas. I was actually about to go towards that hallway moment, right? And my thought process is, when it comes to skill, I think Boots is more skilled than both of them. When it comes to dog, when it comes to dog, I think that they 1 and 2, whatever order you want to put them in. I don't think nobody got more dog than them two. When we look at that hallway moment, you said he was just out beating Kell Brook, right?
No. This was. Oh yeah.
He was between the Kell Brook fight and the Mikey fight. So that was shortly like before he fought Leonard Bundu or after.
Okay. So my question is, could it be, and I don't know if somebody done brought this up or not before, but could it be that both of these guys really think like Errol and Terence really think they can stop each other? And I'll admit, Terence has been more game just because I think Terence really don't care. He will fight anybody whenever. There's not a real scenario where you can say that Terence has ducked anybody. I just think that nigga is mean and on a different level when it comes to that, right? But could the argument also be made that there was a lot more money to be made for Errol, at least, going to fight a lot of other guys like the Mannies of the world or whoever? I don't know the guys off top. I know who he fought, but could that be the argument that's made, that he really didn't have as much respect for Terence as he should have when it comes to him being that type of opponent that can be the best one that he's fought thus far.
Yes, I think so.
I think the moment, and that was my argument last time, is I think the moment really has culminated to now. I think the fight will happen. I absolutely believe that the fight will happen, but I think we're so anxious to see it because we've been waiting on it for 4 years, that it's like, at this point, it's like, nigga, just make it happen, or we really gonna stop caring at some point. When I was, and I got cut off. I got cut off last time when I was trying to talk about this. My phone kept overheating, but I just don't see. I don't see a world where either one of them can afford to not make this fight happen. I don't. And you can talk about what Terence can do at 154. Not at this point, and I think that's why Bud doesn't go to 154 because he knows he's great. He knows he's a Hall of Famer. He probably even believes in his heart of hearts. Not even probably. He knows beyond a shadow of a doubt that he can beat him. But he knows that this is too important to his legacy not to make this fight happen.
It's so to me. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you good. You good. Go ahead.
Only thing I was gonna say was for both of these fighters, pure legitimacy inside the boxing community of your peers. I'm a chef. That's my trade. That's how I make my money. For me, the ultimate goal is Michelin. I finally worked to the point in 2013 where I was recognized by the Michelin. I didn't get an award because the restaurant didn't want to make the commitment and put in the investment. Y'all see my color. You feel what I'm saying? I'm a brown skinned dude in a French restaurant. So
you to chefs too, man. That's a hard fucking job to be a chef, bro. Salute to you.
Hey, I can't see your coat though. You're gonna have to cut the lights on now.
Oh. See what I'm saying? But I got the light down because I got the AC and it's mad humid out here in New York right now because the rain and shit. But what I'm saying is,
you ain't lying, bro. It's humid as fuck.
Word. So what I'm saying is it comes to a point where you can say, I don't need this fighter to move on to be great. And Bud is at that stage where, to a certain degree, he don't need it. To a certain degree, Spence don't need it. Spence is unified. You feel what I'm saying? He holds three of the belts. It would be a travesty, much like in the past, where other fighters just refused to fight another fighter to become undisputed. So, with that being said, neither one of these fighters can afford not to make this fight as far as solidifying legitimacy if they want to move up to 154. They both want to move up to 154. That's a known fact. They both are saying if they win this fight undisputed, neither one of them are really going to face Jaron Ennis or
Did I cut out? Y'all hear me still?
Yeah, I can hear. Yeah.
You cut out, OG.
Yeah, I can't hear you over there, fam. Let me address this comment though real quick. I've been needing to address for a while here from Let Me Hold a Dollar. He said, I love Crawford, but he don't want the fight because he ain't betting on himself. Take less money, whoop Errol Spence ass, and become the A side. And you know, somebody made this argument a little bit earlier, and this was also a part of what I was saying earlier. You comparing Bud Crawford to Devin Haney, but you should be comparing Devin Haney to Errol Spence because these are dudes that should be doing what they can do in order to become undisputed. Devin Haney took a pay cut to get his first undisputed run. So shouldn't that mean Errol should take a pay cut in order to get his first undisputed run? So that's what I don't feel about these dudes. Why not? I mean, well, people would like to say, well, Devin took the pay cut. Okay. Well, Devin was clearly he was serious about pursuing undisputed.
Right.
Didn't Errol Spence be just as serious about pursuing undisputed?
Yeah, not only that, I mean, Devin Haney hasn't accomplished nowhere near as much as Bud Crawford.
He on par with Errol Spence. That's why I'm like, that's a much more comparable argument. You can't compare him to Bud Crawford. How many weight classes has Devin Haney been in?
Right. And to what the OG said, I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead, fam.
Now, I was just gonna say, how many times has Devin Haney been undisputed before this time? You know what I'm saying? So
right,
he's more on par with Errol Spence than he would be for Terence Crawford. So when people make that argument, I'm like, no, you're using the argument for the wrong person. You should be saying, shouldn't Errol Spence be willing to take a pay cut? Because Bud already took a pay cut by going over to PBC. So just like Bo was saying earlier, Bud was making the highest guarantee at the welterweight division. He was making the most money. He has the highest net worth at welterweight. Even if it's not by much, he still got the highest net worth. So in order to go over to PBC where they don't pay guarantees very high, he had to take a pay cut. So based on that, shouldn't Earl be okay with taking a pay cut in order to make sure the fight get done? That's what somebody who really want to fight would do. You know what I mean?
I think that's cap.
Go ahead.
And you know that's cap.
That's
neither
cap.
one of these
Okay.
guys. Yes, neither one of these guys should be compared to Devin Haney. Devin Haney has no draw.
Right.
He has nothing about him that makes me want to watch his fights at all. He's just gonna jam
Whoa.
to death. He got no power. Man, hold on.
Whoa.
He got a great jab. Let me take that back. He got one of the best jabs in boxing.
Okay.
But he has fought nobody that's gonna give him some real trouble. He almost got put out of the Ballonairs. Like, and he was clearly over the hill. And
Lanier is a former world champion, though. You acting like
former, and he old as hell. Come
hey,
on,
so,
man.
hey, so
gotta be real about this.
So was Danny Garcia at the time that Errol Spence fought him.
Before we leave the Crawford Spence chip too far, can I make one last comment about that? I'm about to hop off.
Oh yeah, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Because they always say that we never criticize Terence Crawford. You see what I'm saying? And I want to point out some shit that I don't like about Crawford. Because if both fighters don't make this fight and make sacrifices, which I already feel Crawford has, I will hold both of them to the fire. And what I don't like about Crawford is the fact that he feels that, oh, I'm already a Hall of Fame. I've already done enough. I can hang it up. Me, I would hope that Crawford would want to be the best to ever do it, hanging this shit up. And any other fighter that believe that they the best. I don't like just settling and feeling like you've done enough and the fans don't deserve this. I don't feel that Crawford feels that way, which is the reasons that he made the sacrifices that he has made. And I expect Errol Spence to do the same. But shit, I'm about to hop up off here, y'all. Good look and let me come up here, Boxer Doc.
Hey man, I appreciate you coming through, man. Hey, do you have a channel you want to shout out, man, or you want to drop a link or something? I
do have a channel. It ain't too I ain't too active on it. I got a breakdown on Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. My channel is The Breakdown with Kush the Great. Y'all can find me. Just type in The Breakdown with Kush and my shit will come up. I got breakdowns on both fighters. Them is my only 2 videos so far.
Okay, yeah, man, you got to get some more content up there, man. Clearly, you got a lot of knowledge, man. So, definitely get some more content out there. And y'all be sure to subscribe to Breakdowns with Kush the Great, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a great one.
Yeah, you too, man. Y'all be sure to subscribe to the other 2 homies that's on here as well. My guy, Bold and Understanding. Okay, you got to subscribe to Bold and Understanding. Got to do that. And then my guy, Knockout by TV. Y'all got to make sure y'all do that too, man.
What up, G? Yeah.
I do sound like you over there cooking right now. What you got going on, fam?
Man, I'm getting some water at Walmart. My bad.
Oh, good. But let me just address what Kush said. He said something about how he didn't like how Bud felt like he had already accomplished like Hall of Fame status or something like that, and like it was kind of like settling. The thing about it is Bud fans, and honestly, we make that argument because a lot of Errol Spence fans like to make the narrative. They like to paint this narrative that Bud is just supposed to take whatever he's given and he doesn't have any other options, right? But the thing about it is, it's so untrue on so many different levels because one, not only can Bud Crawford go up in weight, fight somebody else, you know what I'm saying? Fight a Jermell Charlo for undisputed, fight other guys at 154, or even fight some of the new guys coming up. Not only can he do that, but he also has the option to be able to retire from boxing and become a Hall of Famer. You know what I mean? And whether or not you agree or whether or not he's a Hall of Famer, I mean, it's facts. I mean, we've seen the dude hands cemented already in stone at the Hall of Fame. So, I think that's the argument that people make. You know what I'm saying? I get where Kush was coming from with it, but people really make that argument just to kind of show people like, look, Bud got options. He really could do whatever the fuck he want to do at this point. If Errol Spence is willing to come to the negotiation table in good faith, which is what he should be willing to do as a guy who's supposed to be chasing legacy himself, if he's willing to chase legacy like he say, he should be able to come to the negotiation table reasonably enough in order to get the fight done, right? And we don't even need to ask that question about Bud Crawford because we already know Bud Crawford has made all the sacrifices needed in order to get the fight done. He's the one that crossed the street. He's the one that waited for the easy route. He's the one that got a belt when Bud, when Tooth and damn fam over there. Damn, you open up candy or something? Shit. Oh, I'm at the mute you, man. I don't know. Oh, you good now. But y'all hear what I'm trying to say, man. Let me catch up on some of these. Did any of y'all want to rebuttal what I just said, man?
I actually think that was a pretty good point from him about that, because I'm like, at the end of the day, and I think that's just a fan thing from us. We want it to be clear that you locked in no matter what. And the point that you said is something me and Cash talked about, is the fact that he could beat Errol, go up to 154, go disputed by beating Charlo. This guy one too many, and retire. Like, so I could get some I'm ready to move on with my life type vibes off of Terrence in that regard. And so I don't think that's a bad observation, honestly. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's something to be mindful of. And if he does that, he's cemented, like you said. He's going into the Hall of Fame. So I don't think that's a bad point to be made.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah. Bo, you want to add to that?
Nah, yeah, I agree, man. Bud joining some solidified. It seemed like Errol Spence got more clout based off some of these YouTube channels and shit, man. They just think they hype him up, more than what he really is. I mean, the boy could fight his ass, so I ain't gonna take that away from him. But I think the clout that his fan base be putting on him, for YouTube.
Hey, and there's one thing about the LDBC. A lot of people don't like the LDBC, but the LDBC could probably be a promotional company, honestly.
Let me ask you this.
Go ahead, fam.
You said he hyped up off a YouTube channel, huh? Okay.
I ain't say that.
No, not you. I know who said it.
No. What I'm saying is, I think the clout is making him a lot bigger than what he is. You know what I'm saying? I mean, a man can fight.
I think it definitely helped for sure. Definitely helped. Tremendous.
This is my question, though. How many belts he got?
3.
Did he take them from the champion every time?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, so at that point, I get it. You don't have to like the quality of competition that he fought. You can pick apart what he did to the competition and
But
this and
see,
that. He took those belts.
You're not hearing what I'm saying, though. What I'm saying is they hyping him up more than what he really is, right? But they shitting on Bud, right? How many belts Bud got over his course of a career? He probably more than doubled than what Spence got. But they put his ass down and they criticize his level of opposition.
Facts.
But when it comes to Errol Spence, it's like they make him sound like he's the greatest thing since Floyd Mayweather. Like, that's how they hype him up.
I don't deny that Bud don't get the love that he should get, right? But I think that Bud is one of the reasons why that's the truth. Bud, I appreciate the hard hat and I want to just go to work and get the job done, guy. But you're a part of that reason why you don't get the love you should get, my guy. Like, you stay out of the way. And so that's why the guys who are the boxing purists are always gonna love Bud. But your cachet stops there. That's all I'm saying. I think Errol has done a better job of trying to put himself out there. And I'm like, look, at the end of the day, after he finished beating the dog piss out of Ugas, he stood in that ring and he made it clear who he wanted. So to me, the whole fact of 2 years ago,
it only took 4 years, but go ahead.
Fam, but you know what? This is the point that I made. Hold on, this is the point that look, I'm gonna tell you, last time I was talking, right? My phone was completely overheating. I'm thinking I'm talking and y'all just listening to me make my point. This is my thing. We also have to factor that it's really only been like 2 years of you being able to really make that argument that he was actually ducking. When you take into the context, the injury with the eye and the accident, You can't say that you can't qualify that as ducking during that time. We don't know what could have happened in the space where the nigga was injured. Now that's his fault, true enough, but we can't say he been ducking for 4 years when the nigga been hurt the last 2.
Man, I'm gonna say he
Well,
been ducking for 4 years because motherfucker say he want to get all the belts in
yeah.
2019.
Hey,
So
that ain't
obviously he
nothing
wasn't
but
trying.
yeah. Go ahead, Bo. Finish it up.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah. On top of that, and I want to address this Xavier dude in the comment section. He's clearly a big time Earl supporter.
Do your
So
thing.
my thing is this: he said, "Why talk about the belts 5 years ago?" Okay, then Earl Spence won the IBF belt 5 years ago. Then Errol Spence not have a mandatory for the past since who was it? Ocampo? What was that 4 years ago? Then Errol Spence won the second title 3 years ago. And then now he just finally won this last title. But you said, oh, so who's the last title Bud beat? Bum ass Jeff Horn, the same so-called bum that beat Manny Pacquiao, the same so-called bum that Errol Spence wanted to fight before Terence Crawford jumped in the welterweight division and fought Jeff Horn and made fucking Errol Spence do a U-turn. You talking about that bum Jeff Horn. See, that's what, some of these Errol Spence fans, delusional fans. Now, I mean, the legitimate fans, they cool, but they got some delusional fans. And that's the part that be getting on my nerves with some of their fans, man. And that's why I always say, like, the dude's a little bit more hype than what he really is. Because they put that man on a pedestal like he's God. I ain't saying I think the man is good. I think he's a really good fighter, but hey, they be worshiping him like he's a damn god and shit. Like, oh, nobody could beat Errol Spence. Oh, well, you should do what Errol Spence said. Oh, well, you should go fight Kell Brook. Crawford go fight Kell Brook. Oh, Kell Brook was washed. Oh, you should go fight Sean Porter. He fight Sean Porter. Oh, Sean Porter was about to retire. You should go fight. Like, that's what they do. You know what I'm saying? They constantly move the goalposts when it comes to Bud Crawford. But, they make Errol Spence, when Errol Spence beat somebody, oh, man, that was a great win. Like over Ugas. That's a great win. Over fucking Danny Garcia, who don't even let his hands go. They call that a great win. See what I'm saying? Like, that to me is like they overhype the man. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing I don't like about it.
Okay. We have somebody new that just joined us here on the panel, man. My guy, let me see, extraordinary. Oh, then they came up on the panel. Salute to you, fam. What's on your mind?
Salute to the panel. Can y'all hear me?
Oh yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. Salute, brother. Salute. Man, I just want to stop by for a minute, man. I was watching the show, so I wanted to stop by, and I heard some of the points, man. And this shit, as boxing fans, I think we all frustrated at this point, with all the bullshit that's going on. I rock with Bud. Bud is different. I've been rocking with Bud since day one. But like my man was saying, man, is just everything. It seemed like when it comes to Bud, man, the goalpost is always moving, man. Like when he beat Sean Porter. It wasn't the same Sean Porter. It was Spence leftovers. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta think Keith Thurman beat. So was Sean Porter Keith Thurman leftovers? You know what I'm saying? And then you gotta think about when he fought Kell Brook. Was that Triple G leftover when Errol Spence fought him? You know what I'm saying? It's always something when it comes to Crawford, and it's frustrating, man, because they always trying to tell this man what he needs to take, what he needs to accept, and all that. And I'm just thinking, like, how you gonna tell this man what he needs? This man, yeah, you can say, oh, Earl is more accomplished than him at 147, but career-wise, you know what I'm saying? Terrence Bud don't have to take that shit because he's more accomplished career-wise. You know what I'm saying? He's three division of champion. You know what I'm saying? He's undisputed at 140. He got a statement. He got a case. He don't have to sit up here. He's the one getting in the ring, taking these blows and shit like that. Should nobody outside the ring tell this man what he should accept? You know what I'm saying? He know what he should accept. He know what he's worth. I'm never gonna tell another man what he's worth. You know what I'm saying? I like Spence too. I don't have no hate against Spence. Yeah, he moved funny to me sometimes, and I was one of the ones saying, Spence, you know, you move kind of funny. You was face to face with Bud, and you told the man to get a belt. The man got a belt. You know what I'm saying? And now you talking sideways. You talking outside of your mouth. So it's just a lot of things, man. When it comes to Bud, man, it seems like everybody, you know, he's always being left out. He's always being frozen out in some type of way, and the shit just seems unfair. Where he always got to make the sacrifices, you know. And I mean, that's just my stance on it, man. You know, I ain't want to take a long spiel.
Does it matter what he did at 140 though?
Yes, it does matter, because that's what made him who he is today. That's what made him the fight. That's what made if he didn't do shit at 140 and he didn't do shit at 135, we wouldn't be having this conversation. We wouldn't be having the conversation today, because that's who made that. His career is what made him to the point where he's at now. If he just did what he did at 147, we wouldn't even be looking at him to fight Errol Spence. Like, he did shit. But up until this point, he has. So that
I
does
disagree.
matter.
I think it'll be easier. No,
I think what'll be easier.
Here's my thing. You asked the question, does it matter what he did at 140? But it seems like it mattered when Errol Spence beat Danny Garcia, who only did shit at 140, because he ain't do shit at 147. But everybody said that's a great win for Errol Spence,
who ain't do shit at 147 at all.
Hey, to be clear though, I didn't think as much of that fight as everybody else did. I'm talking about from the jump. Danny Garcia is lightweight bum to me. Like, I'm being for real. I don't like him. I don't see what the fuss is about Danny. What the fuss ever was. He knocked out a bunch of bums. Like, and then he lost to Sean, who couldn't beat nobody but Danny Garcia. That was a top-notch guy. So I'm not saying that that's not a good point, because I think he beat Danny Garcia, and Danny Garcia has somewhat of a name for sure. But I don't think that matters. Like, I don't care what Danny did at 140. You got in there, and to me, got outclassed by a nigga that was fresh off an accident.
But what I'm saying, I'm sorry, brother. But what I'm saying is this: if Bud hadn't done shit at 135, 140, or none of that, if he wasn't undisputed at 140, he came to 147 and he WBO, you know. If he hadn't did that shit he did at 135 and 140, we wouldn't be having this conversation, because he's just another guy that's at the welterweight division. Yeah, Earl need to get that belt because to be undisputed, but we wouldn't be having. We'll be like, okay, you know, everybody. Okay, Sean Porter had a belt. You know, these guys don't have a belt at 140. Danny Garcia. You know what I'm saying? So
that's
what
my
I'm
point,
saying,
though.
Hold on, real quick. Derek Moore. Those are lies, fam. Hell no. They have never sparred, fam. I don't know where I be getting this where people be getting this information from, bro.
I know where they got it from.
Where they got it from?
They got it from Fanon. Fanon put that shit out last year after he got kicked out. He made his first comeback video. This dude had the nerve to say, "Yo," and my sources said Errol Spence knocked out Terence Crawford in sparring.
Oh my
God. That's where they got their information from.
That's that fanboy cap stuff, though.
Yeah,
Hey,
fanboy cap. Yes,
Hey,
sir.
Mo, I got a question. If nobody cares if you said doesn't matter what Bud did at 140, does it matter what Usyk did at cruiserweight? Cause he top 5 on a lot of niggas pound for pound list, and I always say
Hold on. Is this Xavier?
Yeah,
Nah, this
I
Taz.
added. I wanted to.
Hold on, real quick, Xavier. I just wanted to let him finish, and then I'm gonna bring you on properly, fam. So you can.
Right.
I'm gonna give you some time to speak.
All right, for sure.
Oh, go ahead. What you were saying, fam?
Yeah, but a lot of people give Usyk credit for what he did at cruiserweight, and you know him beating Anthony Joshua, that's big. But his resume basically consists of his cruiserweight. That's it. Crawford was a 3-divisional champion, so yes, all that shit matters. He got a belt at 135, undisputed at 140, and he got a belt at 147. And he's beat way more champions, so everything he does counts. So I don't know why you even would pose a question like that. That was ridiculous.
Right.
Yeah, I'm on your ass, nigga. I'm on your
ridiculous
ass.
question. It's not. No.
It is ridiculous.
Hey, first of all, let me just say this nigga Cash is one of the captains.
Nah, that's super cat right there. But nah, I don't know why you would come with a question like that. That's crazy
For
to
sure.
me.
Hold on. Listen, I'm gonna tell you. I think it matters to his body of work for sure, right? But he's more than solidified himself at 147 as one of them dudes. So I'm saying, and niggas who know boxing, it's like Boots, for instance. Man, niggas know what Boots is. Your eyes gonna tell you everything you need to see. So I'm saying, like, using that as an argument for what he deserves and all that don't matter. It doesn't. What have you done for me lately?
Nah, all that
That's
shit
cool.
matters when you go into negotiations. They gonna look at all his accomplishments. They gonna look at how long he's been on the pound for pound list, because I think he's the longest reigning champion. He never been removed from the pound for pound list since he's entered. Since his name been on the pound for pound list, he's never moved less than top 5.
Damn.
Like, he's never went under 5.
Now he deserves to be on there, but that list subjective though. What does that matter?
See, that kills me. Y'all pick and choose what matters, and then y'all talk about numbers and shit. That's another thing.
No.
As a boxing fan,
I didn't have niggas doing that till I came on this channel.
I'm gonna say this: as a boxing fan, I actually hate talking numbers. I think it's the most ridiculous shit. Boxing fans never did this. We never did this shit before. I don't even like those conversations. I'm gonna be honest. I don't give a fuck what these niggas get paid. I don't give a fuck what their pay-per-view numbers are. Who is the best boxer? That's all I care about.
Not mad at it. Okay. Real quick. Pause in this conversation. We got somebody new that done came through, so I gotta bring him on properly. My guy Xavier, I seen you in the channel in the chat, bro. I forgot to salute you, but my guy Xavier done pulled up to the panel. Salute to you, fam. What's on your mind?
Hey, what's going on, y'all? I just want to talk to dude. He was talking to me. He seen me chatting. Bruh, boxing is about what have you done lately. Everybody knows this. You can't talk about what this man been doing 5 years ago. He ain't been fighting nobody. This man got one belt. He had that one belt. When has he went for another belt? No, just listen. You talk about what Bud had. What you said was Spence had this belt this many years ago. He's been continuously going for the other belts though. Bud, what other belt has Bud attempted to go for? Not a single one.
You want me to answer that question? You want me to answer that question before you hold up? You want me to answer that question?
Yeah, go ahead.
You asked the question. Oh, okay. He's been consistently trying to go for Errol Spence belt, but Errol Spence took the easy route.
How did he take the easy route? Because he's on PBC and all the other
No. According to Errol Spence, he said he was taking the easy route.
Okay, so check this out. See, this is another argument that I'm finna destroy. Bud, everybody talk about, Bud, he took the easy route. Why did Bud re-sign with Aaron? All he had to do was say,
no. He extended.
Let me finish. I'm not signing with Aaron.
Let him get it all the way out, because he's been waiting. So I want you to get your whole soliloquy out. Go ahead.
Hey, so why did Bud re-sign with Aaron? Why he ain't just say, all right, let me go after some of these belts? I'm not getting it over here. He re-signed. He was taking the easy route. He knew he could continue to fight them bums that was over there with Top Rank. That's what he wanted to do. He had a mean machine, then he rematched them. Nobody wanted to see none of those fights. He didn't even want to fight Porter. They had to mandate that. Then they forced his hand to fight Porter. And I ain't gonna lie, I knew he would beat Porter, but it was like, dude, I ain't seen him want it. And Kell Brook, I don't even want to talk about him. He's been washed up. He was destroyed.
Oh wow!
Seriously?
I need to get in. Can I get in?
Hold on. Are you finished? Are you finished?
I want to hear what he got to say about that.
Okay. All right. Let me let Bo go first, and then after that, you can go ahead. I forgot what your name was. Extraordinary. You can go after him then. Go ahead, Bo. I know you.
Man, these arguments are like elementary, man. I'm telling you, check this out. This man said,
"Thank you."
Why did he re-sign with Top Rank? Well, obviously he extended his contract. He was still on contract when he was fighting with Top Rank. When he re-signed, you got to think what Top Rank did for him when he was at 135 and 140.
We're not talking about that. Let's stay relevant. Let's stay relevant.
No. You asked me. This is the time when he re-signed with Top Rank. That's what you want to know, right? And I'm giving you the facts.
Yes.
So remember, at the time when he re-signed with Top Rank, what year was that?
That was a couple years ago.
Couple of years ago, or like 4 years ago?
That was like 2017. I think 2017.
I don't know the exact.
Right.
Hold on. So, let me pull that up.
Yeah, somebody pull it up.
Because my thing is this, right? You say stay relevant. When he re-signed, remember he was just getting. He didn't take his first fight at welterweight until 2018. Now you got to remember, he got every fight he could ask for. He got the undisputed at 140. Why wouldn't you extend your contract with Top Rank? He already fought PBC fighters while he was at Top Rank. He
Bruh,
fought
do you
PBC
not
fighters.
know when he was with at 147, his contract was finna end again, and he signed again. Do you not know that? At 147,
What
I'm
year
not
was?
talking about 140. You keep talking about old stuff.
No,
I'm
no.
talking about
When he,
147.
all right, do you
It's
know the
old when
year?
y'all.
Do you know the year that he extended his contract with Top?
October the 26th, 2017. Just like I say, October 26th,
Oh, okay,
2017.
My
okay.
boy ready.
Right.
Because
See?
man.
Go
Yeah,
ahead,
so
bro.
I'm tired of
Go
these
ahead, cause
guys, man.
I gotta let Extraordinary off the leash. He ready to go in on him. Go ahead, Bo.
Hold on, I had to bring my computer out now.
I'm glad he pulled up that, man, because that would crush their whole argument right then and there. When they be like, oh, Bud resigned, Bud didn't even fight Jeff Horn until 2018. So of course you're gonna stay your contract with the guy who's paying you the most money at the beginning, and you were getting the fight you wanted to get.
That's it.
And then
All right, let me salute some people in the chat real quick, man. Salute to hold on, damn shit. Salute to my guy, Mini Men that pulled up in the chat. Salute to you, fam. Salute to Jay Cooley, also done pulled up in the chat. Salute to you, fam. Salute to Supernova Sun 77. That's a dude that's in my comments on some videos. You know what I'm saying? So I already know you an Errol Spence fan. You know, salute to you, fam, for coming through. You know what I mean? All right, y'all boys, continue what you're saying, Bo.
Yeah. So now that we got that part out the way, right? I'm glad what's name gave me the information. He fought Jeff Horn in 2018, right?
Right.
Terence Crawford already fought PBC fighters before. Then he, according to Errol Spence, and it's been out there. King David got the videos out. E Thriller got the videos out and everything. Errol Spence out his own mouth on ESPN. Hey, Terence Crawford get that belt, then we can make it happen.
Yes.
But before then, Errol Spence was trying to fight Jeff Horn. He didn't give a fuck what side of the street Jeff Horn was on. All of a sudden, Terence Crawford get that belt. Terence Crawford pulls up on Errol Spence. Errol Spence talking about Sean Porter got a belt too. You know, he talking about, why not go the easy route and fight Sean Porter and knock him out?
Because it's easier to make that fight. They both under PBC. Why don't you understand that? We can easily make that fight.
Okay, so did you understand that Jeff Horn wasn't on the PBC?
Right.
He wanted to fight Jeff Horn, right? He was trying his best to fight Jeff Horn.
You know why?
I believe you played that video last week, right?
Everybody, listen, man. Everybody, that was like a free belt, man. Whoever first got to Jeff Horn was taking that belt. Everybody knew Jeff Horn. He didn't even earn that belt when he fought Pac-Man. We all seen that. It was in Australia.
That's what I was gonna say. Wasn't that the belt that the nigga
Everybody wanted that
just got
Jeff Horn
robbed?
that fight because that's a free belt. Everybody wanted that.
So it was a part of the. So then it was a part of the easy route.
Right.
That Bud took that route. He said, "Let me get that route."
No. Hold on.
No. He changed the argument.
I did change the. Y'all the ones talking about the easy route.
Yes, you did, bro.
About the easy route.
Listen, who took the route? Listen, who took that route? Who took that route?
Hold on, fam. You said the easy route was the fights that were easy to make. When we gave you a fight that was not easier to make, but in fact harder to make, but an easier fight, okay, all of a sudden the easy route means the easy fight now.
No, I'm saying y'all, I'm agreeing with y'all that Jeff Horn is the easiest route. I'm agreeing with that. I'm saying who took that route? Who took that route? Was that Spence or Bud? Who got that fight?
Errol Spence
tried to take the route.
Don't say what he tried to do. See, look, y'all talking about what tried and who took that route.
But the thing is, you're missing a point, though, fam. The point that you're missing is that you made the statement that the reason why Earl said easy route was because the fights were easier to make because everybody was on PBC.
Yes.
But we gave you a fighter that Earl was trying to fight that was not on PBC. So that means that the easy route ain't got shit to do with PBC, fam. That's what that means. It got to do with the fights that are easier. That's what it got to do with.
Okay.
Very true. But the thing is this too, though. Nigga, you gonna always like the quicker you can get to a belt, if it's gonna be through Horn instead of Terence or whoever, that's the nigga that get to call the shots. That's the nigga that get to make the money. Like, so I don't think it's a knock either way. It don't matter who fought Joe Horn.
Didn't nobody want to fight him when he moved up, bro. He couldn't get that fight when he moved up. That's the fight he could get. He took the fight that he could get, bro. When he moved up, he could fight. He got
And this
that
is
Jeff Horn
another.
fight, and he took it.
All right, so
That's
this
the
is
fight.
another.
He called
this
out.
is
Oh, go ahead, bro.
this is another narrative that I've been making. Who was ducking Bud Crawford? Who did Bud Crawford say he wanted to fight? And they said they don't want to fight him. Name a fighter?
Okay, that's all you extraordinary. Go ahead, fam. I know you explained this late.
It was Keith Thurman when he moved up, bro. Because Keith Thurman was the dog. He was the dog at the welterweight division. He was that guy in welterweight division. He called out him when he moved up, bro. That's who he called out. Didn't nobody want to fight. You heard what he said in the tunnel.
I'm gonna destroy that, right?
Keith Thurman running. Go ahead. Go ahead.
That man said Keith Thurman name when he was at 140, man. That man, when he went to 147, I ain't hear him say Keith Thurman name no more. And Keith Thurman was out for a long time. Let's talk about the fighters that was actually fighting, the fighters who had the belts, man. Who was he calling?
Keith Thurman had the belts.
Keith Thurman was the man at 147, bro.
How many belts did Keith Thurman have? No, how many belts? How many belts did Keith Thurman have?
Oh my God, man!
I'm asking the question. How many belts? How many belts?
He had 2 belts.
All right, so when Keith Thurman wasn't coming back. Keith Thurman was ducking Bud. I give you that. He was ducking Spence. He didn't really want to come back. He wanted to wait for them dudes to lose. I don't know what he wanted to wait for. I'm gonna give you that. Who else was he calling out? Hey, don't talk about the dude who was inactive. You talking about a dude who was inactive?
What you mean?
Bro, Thurman was inactive. He was making injuries and all that shit he was doing. Who was he? Who else was he? Danny Garcia was fighting at 147. Porter. Ugas, he ain't never said Ugas' name after Ugas beat his ass like he did in the amateurs.
Oh man, we talking about amateurs. Smoke with Ugas. Bro. Oh my God.
Tell me who he called out that ducked him, because that's a narrative that y'all keep pushing. Nobody wanted to fight him. Name
who
him.
Was he standing face? Hold on. Who was he standing face to face with in that tunnel? Who was he standing face to face with in that tunnel? Who was he talking to face to face in that tunnel?
Spence.
Okay. What conversations did they have in that tunnel? What did Earl tell him in that tunnel? What you need to do? He said you haven't done shit. So what you need to do? He told him what he need to do. He said you need to go get a belt, right?
Yeah.
He said you need to go get a belt and we'll fight.
Okay.
So what did Bud do? Bud would have whooped Jeff Horn ass.
Okay. I'm not disagreeing with that.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, yeah, you're right that Keith Thurman was inactive because he wasn't fighting, bro. But that tells you he was going after the guy. He was going after the man. Whoever the man was, that's who Bud wanted. Fuck all that bullshit. That's who I want. If Keith Thurman was the man, I want Keith Thurman. If Spence the man, I want Spence. I want the smoke. Basically, Bud saying I want the smoke. You know what I'm saying? I want the smoke. That's it.
I don't think he wanted no smoke. If you look at the guys he was fighting, that ain't look like he was wanting no smoke, bro.
He took the fight that was in front of him, bro. He took what was in front of him. Whatever fight that was in front that he could get, he was saying them niggas was not trying to fight Bud, bro.
Who? That's why I keep asking. I keep asking you who.
Keith Thurman wasn't trying to fight Bud. Spence wasn't trying to fight Bud. Them niggas was not trying to fight Bud, bro.
All right, so when
you keep
Spence
talking
said,
about Danny Garcia, Garcia ain't no goddamn body. He ain't have shit. So why would Bud even waste his time? He want to go after the guys that got something. He don't want to go after him.
All right, so check it out. So when Spence said, hey, man, I'm coming after all of these belts. It's easy on this side. He said, this is my side of the street. He said, the belts is over here. Hold on. He said, I'm going to clean up this side of the street. And when I do that, I'm coming for that man belt. Did he not say that?
He said that in 2019. He said that. He said that. Hold on. When Bud Crawford pressed him, he said Sean Porter got a belt too. He wasn't talking about collecting all the belts first and then fight Crawford last. He told ESPN, when Crawford gets that belt, then we can make it happen.
Okay. All I'm saying is look at what he said he was going to do. Look at what he said he was going to do and look at what he did. He said he's coming for them belts, then he's coming for Bud's belt. He got all 3 of the belts. Now look at where he's at. He's coming for that last belt. That man ain't made up no
but that don't change anything. If you tell ESPN,
don't change nothing.
If Bud Crawford gets that Jeff Horn belt, then we can make it happen. That doesn't mean make it happen years later. That means once you get that belt, we're gonna try to make that fight happen. It was only until after Bud Crawford pressed Errol Spence in 2018 that this dude Spence just started coming up with different routes. Easy route. Let me collect all the belts route. Let me do all this type of route.
My thing is this:
You
why
know what I'm
was
saying? I
Bud
mean,
not trying to collect other belts? If you
how
couldn't
can,
get the Spence belt, it's other
where,
belts.
where were the belts at? Where were the belts at?
Man, ask Spence. He took them all.
No,
He
no,
went
no. But where
he
were they
went
at?
wherever they was at. He went and got it from Sean Porter, and
I
then
don't
he
know
went and got the
Spence,
last
but
one from
I'm asking you, where were all the belts at?
when
No, just in general at welterweight. Which
Sean
side?
Porter.
You know,
Sean Porter had the belt. He took
okay,
that
who
from
he
him,
fight for?
and then
Who he fight for?
Ugas. He just took that
Okay,
from him.
who he fight for?
Who?
Sean Porter, Ugas. Who they fight for?
Sean Porter fought for the vacant. That was
No,
the
no, no.
belt. That was the
What
belt
what
that
promotional company?
PBC.
The PBC.
PBC.
Exactly. So if the PBC, if people want to talk about crossing the street and everything, how was Terence Crawford gonna get this damn belt if the belts was over at the PBC?
Why you got to try to make the fight happen. You don't
Did he try?
use
Why?
one basket. Try all them dudes.
All right, so check this out. Did he not try to make the fight happen with Errol Spence?
When?
Oh my God, man.
Earl Spence is trying to make the fight happen right
Oh
now.
man, bro.
Listen, man. Earl Spence said it. He said when I win this belt, he said y'all gonna see who holding up this fight. Who's holding up the fight right now?
Oh my
man, this
I'm
dude,
serious
man.
right now. Who do y'all hear holding up the fight, man? I don't know if y'all got sources or what, but every source I done ever heard, they say Bud is the only one that's holding up this fight. Earl been
All
ready
right.
to rock and roll.
Who are your sources, man?
Yeah, because
Don't worry, bro. Come on, man. Listen, now you heard. Listen, man. So listen. What have you heard? What have you heard? Let me know. What have you heard?
All right, so here it is. You
What have
saying
you heard?
saying somebody hold up the fight, right?
No, I
You
want to know
saying-
what have you heard? Who's
no,
holding
I'm
up the
saying,
fight?
You
I want to know what have
Terence
you heard.
Crawford. You say Terence Crawford is holding up the fight.
I'm
But
saying
it was
that's what
okay.
I've heard. What have
was
you heard?
it
I
was
don't know nothing for
okay.
sure. Don't know nobody know nothing for sure unless you Bud
Okay,
or Terry.
but this is what we know for sure.
Okay.
We know 4 years later, all of a sudden now y'all want to blame Crawford. But this whole time, all these years that went by, y'all made all types of excuses for Errol Spence.
Hey, but listen,
now y'all want to accuse Crawford with some made up sources that he's holding up the fight.
Here
So
y'all
I
go.
don't
Here
get
y'all
it.
go. Here y'all go with these crazy narratives. Listen, now if Errol Spence was sitting back idle and just listen, if Errol Spence was just sitting back idle with one belt and was like looked like he was just ducking Bud, then I would agree with you. But no, he was going out the champions with belts. He was putting in all the work at the 147
Man,
division.
the dude
Bud
fought
was
Danny
sitting with his one
Hey,
belt.
what
Green
belt did
Machine.
Danny Garcia have?
He
What belt did
fought
Danny
Jose
Garcia have?
Benavidez.
Hold
Come
on.
on,
What
man.
belt did Danny
Old Kell
Garcia have?
Brook. Amir Khan. Stop playing with
Hey,
me, man.
what belt did Danny Garcia have?
That was his man, though, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't his man though.
I got to double. I'm gonna double check right now.
His last man though was Ocampo, I believe, for that IBF, right?
I don't know. I'm gonna double check.
Yeah, but let's be honest.
What
Yeah, but
belt
let's
did
be
Mikey
honest.
Garcia have? Did
Mikey Garcia was
have a
calling
belt?
him out crazy.
So
Mikey Garcia had a crazy.
Crawford wasn't calling him out?
No.
So Crawford wasn't calling Spence out.
Bro, you keep talking about that one conversation in the town. Come on, man. No, that ain't really
No, you
calling nobody out.
said Mikey was calling out Errol Spence, right? And Errol Spence made a fight with a lightweight.
Listen,
But when
man.
Crawford called him out,
Listen to how much, bro. See, this is what y'all don't understand about the business of boxing right now. This is what y'all don't understand about the business of boxing. Mikey Garcia, bro, that man got a whole country. That man had a whole country behind him. That man know he gonna get paid big. That's big boy money fight versus Mikey Garcia. And a man calling him out.
How you know was Mikey a pay-per-view star at the time?
Bro, go look at the pay-per-view numbers, man. You gonna tell me, then you can find out.
But I'm saying how you base that out. I mean, that pay-per-view did well, but how you base the fact that Mikey deserves pay-per-view considering he ain't never been on pay-per-view before?
I didn't make that judgment. They made that judgment, and they was right.
That didn't stop niggas from saying that Mikey was gonna beat him off of skill alone, though.
And what about you?
No, a lot of people pick Mikey. What are you talking about?
And what about you, Dennis Ugas? Why he ended up getting 50-50 on there?
See, that's another lie. He didn't get 50-50. Y'all just be making up lies.
He didn't get 50-50. So what did he get?
Not 50-50. I can look it up right now. I can look it up right now.
He got 50-50 on the pay-per-view.
He got 50-50 on the back end.
All I know
money.
is he ain't get 50-50.
Bro, his purse was 1.5. I mean, Errol Spence purse was 1.5. And
Okay.
Ugas was 1 million. But on the
Okay,
back end, they
that's
got
not
on the back end.
That's not
No. They talking about we're not talking about guaranteed. We talking about back end money though. They got 50-50. We don't know what that is. We don't know what that number is. I don't know what it was. But I'm saying they got 50-50.
So from what I heard, hey, but listen.
Hold on, y'all, real quick. Hold on.
There's some arguments. Look, you could certainly say that the belts, that Crawford's got that Spence has 3, and make it some a bigger split, or that Crawford's Crawford's pay-per-views haven't quite done the numbers that Spence's pay-per-views have done. There are arguments, but you could also look at it and say Crawford's been number 1 pound for pound. He's been a champion longer than Errol. So there's arguments on both sides. I think where we end up is something that's, if it's not 50-50, it's pretty close. It's not 50-50, it's pretty close.
Not 50-50, it's pretty close.
I know that.
So look, that is the Showtime executive Steven Espinosa.
Steven Espinosa. Everybody agree with that though, but and when he said the fight was, he said from his recollection, he said it's close to 50-50. From what I've been hearing, that the back end money is 50-50. The guaranteed money, now what I've been hearing is the guaranteed money ain't been 50-50 because it's a clear A side. So they like, bro, come on now, let's be realistic.
I don't know what we gotta call your sources into question.
But listen, I'm not saying these is 100% facts. Like I said, I don't know if these is facts or not. That's what I've been hearing.
Yeah, but we do know Steven Espinosa said if it ain't 50-50, it's pretty close.
It's pretty close, exactly. All right, so now let me ask you this question. Let me see if you're gonna keep it 100.
So hold on. Real quick before you ask the question. Real quick. I don't know why we still talking about 60-40 at all.
I ain't saying nothing about 60-40.
I know you didn't. That's just general statement for everybody. But go ahead with your question, though, fam.
Yeah, because I damn near forgot my question. But the point is, oh no, this was my question. Okay, so if it's, let's say it's not 50-50, it's close to 50-50. If you're gonna get an edge to somebody, who you gonna get an edge to? And then just keep it 100, and then give me some facts, and don't talk about nothing that's 5 years old now. Give me some
the edge. Hold on.
We can't do that.
Wait, hold on. If you want to do that, Errol Spence pay-per-view numbers is 5 years old too. A lot of them.
Right.
5 years old.
No. Well, we not gonna do that now. Hold on. So we gonna compare pay-per-view numbers to pay-per-view numbers.
You just gave me an age. You just told me I could use something 5 years ago. But you talking about pay-per-view numbers from 5 years ago.
Because I'm thinking you finna go to different divisions. When you start talking about that 140 and shit like that, that's what I don't like.
That when the rules change right there, huh? Okay, go ahead.
You can talk about anything at 147. That's all fair game.
Okay, I went over this earlier in my live, but here's the reason why Terence Crawford deserved 50-50, right? Here's the reason. Reason number one, Ugas got 50-50.
Not facts.
Mikey Garcia got 50-50.
Prove that wrong.
Ugas got 50-50. Mikey Garcia. Even if you want to say it was really close, okay, fine. They got really close to 50-50. But guess what? Dennis Ugas got 4 losses. Dennis Ugas ain't never been on pay-per-view. Dennis Ugas is half of what Bud Crawford would be on paper, right? Go ahead.
No, I was just asking, is there any cachet to him beating Manny Pacquiao? Does that matter?
That definitely matters.
Because,
it matters.
And I'm only asking because we're talking about sponsorship dollars here now. We talking about organizations and we talking about, networks. So when you coming off a win, even though we all know if Errol would have been in that ring that night, he probably would have killed that man. That's just facts. If Ugas does Manny like that, Errol does 2 times worse. I'm sorry. But at the end of the day, we got to take a lot of that stuff into consideration.
Man, Errol Spence got beat up by a Manny clone and sparring.
Who?
They say he got beat up by a Manny clone and sparring. Errol Spence.
Who did?
Errol Spence. He got beat up in some sparring session. I don't know if y'all seen that video.
I ain't heard that one.
Yeah, it's a little video.
Isn't that why?
Yeah, but he was just making a joke though. That ain't,
I was gonna say those statements are what nauseate me, man.
He was. That ain't what we talking about. We back on point though. What you were saying though, Cash. I'm sorry. Aunt Mo. Go ahead.
But see, my thing too though, going back to what Cash was saying earlier, I agree. I don't want to talk numbers, but at the end of the day, we the only thing we got is what we see. If they fight each other and the guys that they have fought. Now, if you're looking at that, you're going to say Terence is better. But when we start talking about money, these guys ain't just fighting for the love of it. we talking money too, and that stuff matters. So you have to factor in these numbers, whether it's pay-per-view buys, whether it's belts that's won. I don't want to talk about none of that stuff, but the facts are going to be subjective based off of what we all see.
But here
That's
go the
just the
thing.
bottom line.
Here go the thing on MO. Here go the thing though, because when people bring up the numbers, they for some reason they don't get the fact that there's more to business than solid numbers. Like I was talking about earlier, there's a part of business called leverage that has nothing to do with numbers. It has to do with your ability, your negotiating power. You know what I'm saying? Like Bud Crawford got one of those belts. He got one of the 4 belts. That's negotiating power. Bud Crawford is the second fighter that makes up the biggest fight in the sport of boxing. Like that's negotiating power. Like these things also you got to factor in to this negotiation when you're talking about 50-50. That's why Steven Espinoza, I might add, Showtime executive, affiliate of PBC, not Team Bud Crawford. I just want to make that clear. That's why he made the statement saying, if it's not 50-50, let's make sure we get the quote right. If it's not 50-50, it's close, meaning they're going to get damn close to 50-50 if it ain't 50-50 because of the fact that they understand that the leverage part of it belongs to Bud Crawford, okay? In the sense,
Hell no, come on.
Bud Crawford got the belt. Bud Crawford has already
3 belts, bro. 3-1, man.
Hey,
Stop that, man.
3-1, but Bud Crawford's already been undisputed, fam.
You talking about 140 again.
Somebody
talking about
all that
matters.
Hey,
that
but
matters.
See, that's what I was saying earlier.
Matters.
No, it don't.
That's
no,
what
it
I was
don't.
saying
That
earlier,
matters,
though.
bro. Why y'all trying to throw that out the window? I'm
They
confused
want to
on
throw
why.
it out the window.
I'm confused. I'm so confused
That
on
don't
why
matter,
these people
bro.
do
What
that.
has
The
he
Spence
done
fans,
in
man.
147?
The Spence fans always do that, bro. They say, "Oh, that don't matter." That does matter, bro.
Yeah.
That man, listen, that man been in the division for about 5 years now.
Yeah.
He fought for 1 belt and ain't fought for another one since, bro. Cut it out, man.
What they got? What
He
they?
ain't did shit in 147.
So does it, let me ask you a question. Can Errol Spence be undisputed without Bud Crawford?
No.
Okay, so and what he say he wanted to do?
Listen, man. If he don't get the Bud, he going up to 154 and he gonna be undisputed there.
He gonna be undisputed.
No, but say
He
that.
gonna claim
But he gonna fight
154 out.
Charlo. He not gonna fight Charlo.
Yeah, he
Charlo
gonna fight
gonna move
Charlo.
Charlo, bro. You know Charlo don't want to fight him, bro. Do you not know this?
And if Earl and if Earl go up to one,
He's not gonna fight Charlo, bro. They not gonna fight.
Bro,
him,
they asked, hey man, they asked Charlo, man. Charlo like, man, I don't want to fight him. That's my brother. They asked Spence. Spence said, man, I'm fighting whoever. He said, when it come down to it, come on, man.
So what Derrick James gonna do? So what Derrick James gonna do then?
Bro, Derrick James gonna ride with Spence. He been riding with him. Spence been his number 1 guy. That nigga Charlo asked Spence, can he train with Derrick James? Did you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So come on now, he gonna go with Spence.
When Spence go up to 154, Charlo will go up to 160, and the other Charlo will go to 168.
That's exactly
so they're not
what's
gonna
happen,
fight.
bro. They don't want to fight.
but here go the thing.
Both Charlos as far as Spence.
Hey, but here go the thing though. Here go the thing. If Earl move up, guess who's gonna be right up there at 154 waiting on him with the WBO belt?
Bud gonna take some losses fucking around. Nah, man. All right, man. I don't know.
Hey, but this is what I'm talking about.
Who got the body? But look, who got the body? Who got the body for 154, man? Let's keep it 100.
They say the same thing about
bro. They really look the same, to be honest. I mean, Earl looks bigger.
Nah, man. You got one boxer, bro. You got. Hey, man. Have y'all ever boxed before, man? You got one boxer coming up from 130, man, going up to 154. You got one boxer that's been in 147. His whole shit finna go up his first class.
Hey, look. Errol Spence is a naturally. Errol Spence is a naturally.
It's a horrible argument. It's a horrible argument for somebody who don't know boxing, bro.
Here go right here. Errol Spence is a naturally bigger guy. Okay,
exactly my point.
But here go the thing. His style is a pressure fighter kind of style. Like he gonna go in there with dudes that's bigger than him. The only reason, a lot of the reason Errol Spence got have success in the ring the way he do is because he's naturally bigger than a lot of the dudes he in the ring with. When he goes up to 154, he lose that advantage. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, who gonna beat him? All right, so I give you this. Who gonna beat him at 154?
It's some dude out there that'll get him some.
Get the fuck out of here, man. You see Errol Spence body work? Man, he gonna crush. He gonna break Fedora.
Nah, Fedora is not beating him. This nigga
not beating him. It's some dude. Look, I ain't gonna say who gonna beat who, cause that ain't what this show is about. But it's some dudes out there that'll give Errol Spence some work at 154. And look.
You asked me about Fedora versus Bud.
Let me make this last point. Let me make this last point real quick. It's some dudes that'll give Errol Spence some work, But on the other end of the spectrum, Terence Bud Crawford, he has a style that's easy to move up in weight because we already seen him do it 2 times already.
Right.
We know that he can move
What
up
is
in
that?
weight.
What style is that? What style is that, bro?
That's any style he wanted to be. He can fight off his back foot. He can counter punch. He can pie shot. The dude can do it all.
Hold on. Errol Spence fight off his back foot?
He know it don't. He know it don't. But you know, here go the thing though.
When have anybody put him on his back foot?
Sean Porter.
Sean Porter put him on his back
Man, he
foot.
beat the
Errol
shit out
Spence.
of him.
Niggas be capping, bro. Knock it off with this Sean Porter crap,
Bro,
Hold on,
come on, man.
Porter ain't
That
put him on
fight,
the
people
back
act like that fight was closer than what it was. Go rewatch that fight, boy. You gonna give
It
Porter
was,
4
bro.
rounds.
We knew it was close.
It
Somebody
was
arguing
close,
that it
bro.
wasn't
People act like it's closer than what it was. Go watch the fight, bro. You gonna give Porter 4 rounds. It was a good fight. Don't get me wrong. But if you watch the fight, you gotta give Porter about 4
We
rounds,
watched
bro.
that
It
fight
ain't that
5
close.
times.
Whoa.
Hey,
You only
a
gave
lot
Porter
of
4
people
rounds?
had that
Go
fight.
watch the fight. Go rewatch the fight. I just rewatched the fight
No,
a
that
couple weeks
makes
If it
ago.
sense.
wasn't
My
for a
mouth.
No, that
knockdown, a
makes
lot of people
sense.
had that fight scored a draw. If it wasn't for the knockdown,
Bro,
a
go
lot of
rewatch
people.
the fight. Hey man, check this out, man. Go rewatch the fight and look at the punch count. Come on, man, stop it.
No,
Yeah,
I agree with you on
Hey,
that
you know,
because if he won 5 out of 9 rounds and then he lost thereon, that's pretty close to what you're saying. Like I agree with you on that.
Yeah, man, I'm just saying, bro. That Porter, they make it seem
Because that
like
would
it
have
was a
meant it would have
close
been
fight,
like
bro. It wasn't no
7-5.
tie.
I mean, no, it was
It wasn't
close,
no
bro.
tie before. It wasn't no tie before he got dropped, bro.
Nah,
Y'all
I
gotta
think he
cut that
won.
out, man.
Hey,
I think Porter may have been up by a round, and then from the knockout on, he lost those rounds.
that was a close ass fight, man. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
You making it
yo,
sound like it's a blowout. It wasn't no
round.
blowout. Look, even if you want to say, oh, he only got 4 rounds, 5 rounds, you could maybe you could give him 4 rounds definitively, and you could say maybe 2 of them rounds was swing rounds. You can go either way, but either way, it's a fight where it's real close.
Do
And
y'all
I mean, that's boxing.
Do y'all want to hold on? Do y'all want to hear some punch stats of the fight, man? Yeah.
Nah.
221 to 172. Come on, man. It wasn't that close. Power punches.
Okay, hold on.
184 to 142.
Let's
That man
go.
landed 40 more power punches, bro. Come on,
If
man.
we talk about jabs and shit, I mean,
No, that was the closest stat. Stop it, bro. That was
no,
the
I'm just
closest
saying. I
stat.
mean, let's go with your eyes.
The jabs was 37 to 30.
I
They
mean,
weren't even
punch
throwing
stacks
that many
don't work.
jabs. You watched the fight, they was inside, just slugging it out.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like the thing is that if you watch that fight from the eye test, I mean, if you count on nut shots, then I guess it was 202 something.
He gave him a lot. He gave him.
But I'm just saying,
He gave him a lot of those. He had a lot of those.
Hey man, Sean Porter must be your cousin or something, man. Hey,
bro, come on, fam. He doing a lot.
Cut it out.
Hey y'all, check this out though, man. I'm finna go on here wrap this screen up, man. I'm gonna let y'all make y'all closing remarks, and then we're gonna close out, bro. I've been on here 4 hours, fam. I'm gonna start with you, Cash. Closing remarks on it, bro.
Man, I ain't got nothing to say, man. Everybody be easy. I catch y'all the next time. Oh, Bug don't smoke, Spence. That's the last thing I gotta say.
Smoking. Okay.
Smoke his ass.
Smoke his ass. Okay. Extraordinary. It's on you, man. Closing remarks. Actually, you know what? I'm extraordinary. I'm gonna save you. I'm gonna get an Errol Spence guy next. Xavier, on you, fam. Closing remarks.
Hey man, I appreciate y'all for letting me jump on here, man. Talk my little shit. I actually just found your channel, so I'm gonna go ahead and subscribe to you, Brody.
Appreciate
hey
that,
man, yeah, y'all. Hey, y'all just do y'all thing, man. But I'm rocking with Team Spence. I was a Bud fan, but he been acting the way he been acting, man. He losing fans every day. Bud just know, and it ain't just me. I got a bunch of homies that watch boxing, bro. Bud is losing fans by the day.
Come on, Xavier. All
right, y'all. But yeah,
Bud don't hurt that man, bro. I hear you though. Salute to you, fam. Okay, the next person gonna be my guy, Extraordinary, man. Extraordinary. Closing remarks, man. On you, fam.
Yo, fam, hey, man, I appreciate you letting me jump on, man. I'm just like Xavier, man. I found your channel, man, and I wanted to cop on with your boy. I did subscribe. I did like, man. I did smash the like button, man. I'm gonna be rocking with you, folks. I'm gonna be rocking with you from here on out, man. But yeah, man, we all as boxing fans, man. We want this fight, bro. So at the end of the day, man, we all, we all shoot for the same goal, man. We trying to get this fight, bro. We tired of the bullshit. So yeah, I'm rocking with Bud. I think Bud goddamn stop him in the. I'm gonna say Bud gonna stop him in the left. I got Bud in the left.
That's about what I had it too, about 11. But James Tony said he might not even go 6 rounds. You know what I'm saying? But Errol Spence fans don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to hear that. Don't want to hear that. All right, let's go to my guy, Lightspeed. Just pull it up, man. Lightspeed, my bad, fam. I seen you in the back, but we was full. But Go ahead and give your closing remarks, man. You there, Lightspeed? Lightspeed probably fell asleep over there, man. Okay, we're gonna move on. Let's move to Aunt Mo, man. Closing remarks on you, fam.
So first of all, James Toney gonna be eating out of a straw in about 2 years. It don't matter what that nigga. It don't matter what that nigga say. He don't know what he talking about. But
he done
no,
said it, man. Eat out of straw.
Yeah,
that nigga right there is about slow as
Come
but anyway.
on, bro.
But nah.
Hey man, you from Dallas, man? You from Dallas? You from Texas?
I'm from the phone. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. You got. I hear how you talk, bro.
but nah, man. I'll say this though. Hopefully, from the couple times I've been on this show, it's clear that I'm not overly pro Errol, and I don't hate on Terence. I've said clearly that I think Terence is better. My only argument is I think y'all do disrespect Errol just a little bit as far as what he actually has, as far as a skill set. I think it's closer to 50-50 in pay and as far as who gonna win the fight. To say beyond a shadow of a doubt, you could say that Terence done fought a nigga like Errol, but he ain't fought Errol, and I think it's the difference. And I don't think we talking apples to oranges when we talk about that. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, I appreciate you fellas, man. Errol. I think Errol might win by stoppage body blow.
No, hell no.
Hey Zay, can I say this right quick? Can I say this right quick? Hey Zay, you think you said Errol Terence haven't fought. You say he fought somebody like Errol, but he never fought Errol. But I don't think Errol ever fought anybody like Bud. He never fought anybody like Bud.
I think it's true for both fighters. That's what makes this 50-50.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. All right, let's go to my guy, Bold and Understanding. So y'all be sure to subscribe to Bold and Understandings, man. Another good YouTube channel, man. Put out some real good boxing content. But Bold and Understandings, man, you the last one up. On you.
Yeah, man, it's a great show, man. I like chopping it up with y'all guys, man. Even when we disagree, I mean, it even makes it more interesting too. You got the Bud side, you got the Errol Spence side, but I'm gonna put it like this, man. If the fight happens after Bud whipped that man, like Bernie the boxer said,
so cute.
after Bud carve him up like a Thanksgiving turkey. The words of Bernie Davis. All these Errol Spence fans gonna be making up another excuse. They're gonna say, "Oh well, Errol Spence had that car accident. Oh well, his eyes. It's gonna be another one of the diminishing.
He stayed too long at 147.
Yeah.
If he win, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if he won.
Yeah, but yeah, another great show, King David, man. Appreciate you having me on as usual, man. And with that being said, peace out.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate my guy Bold and Understandings, man. Again, y'all be sure to subscribe to Bold and Understandings on YouTube, man. Good YouTube channel, man. And y'all be sure to subscribe to my guy Aunt Mo here on the Mind of a Man podcast. Y'all be sure to do that. You know what I'm saying? Extraordinary. You got a channel, fam? I'm not sure. You got a channel?
No, I don't have a channel, man. I just love boxing, man. So hey, I found your channel, man, and I'm sticking with you, bro.
Hey, bro, I can dig it. I can dig it all day. So, all right, cool. So, yeah, man, we're going to wrap this show up here, man. Hey, I just want to thank everybody for coming out, man, and rocking with your boys for 4 hours. Goddamn. Salute to my peoples out here that was in the chat. My guy Lightspeed, Extraordinary, Bold, Cash. My guy Knockout Boxing 86 TV was here earlier. Cooking with your boy, man. Salute to everybody in the chat. My guy C's, Mr. Quick, Xavier. It was a lot of people in the chat today, so I ain't going to be able to go through all y'all, but I'm going to try, goddamn. Philly King Boxing, salute Philly Swag Boxing, subscribe to them boys. Fresh Press 402, salute to you, fam. Salute to who else I got up in here? Orleans, salute to you. Salute to my guy Supernova Sun 77. Salute to Lightspeed. I think I already salute him already. Salute Charles Pickett. Salute to who else we got? Super Jamal. Salute to Mr. Quick. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I ain't gonna be able to go through all of y'all, but I just appreciate everybody for coming through, rocking with your boy as long as you did. You know what I'm saying? If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. And everybody, be sure to hit that goddamn like button on your way in or way out, whatever it is you're trying to do. You feel me? But with that, I'm out of here, y'all. Peace.